Meng Fake slowly opened his eyes and thought that his head was pounding badly. Is he really sick? He saw that he had paws instead of hands and finally woke up, finding himself in a huge cage. He screamed in shock and people nearby heard it. One of them asked what just happened. The girl replied that they had caught a Kyanki cub. For some reason it went on a rampage, but now it seems to have calmed down. Meng Fake was sitting in a huge cage with ceiling letters flying around and he thought, didn't he just play a game at home? How did he suddenly become like this? A new card masterpiece, Chess of Fate. He played it all night long for 2 weeks. This isn't sudden death, is it? He examined his body and asked what he had become. Suddenly he heard footsteps and saw a girl with a bucket of water outside the cage. He thought, who is this? The system reported that the system has detected the Fate character and is ready to activate. Meng Fake thought system. Character of Fate. What is going on? A system window appeared in front of Meng Fake, prompting him to select a character. He saw a girl on the avatar and thought that this little avatar looked like the girl outside the cage. What should he do? He looked at the profile picture and thought he doesn't care. He'll just focus on that little profile picture. Another system window appeared in front of him, which showed the girl's characteristics. Her name is Bu Fengyan, her vitality is 7, her body foundation is 9, nature knowledge is 9, luck is 7. She has a passive skill, celestial rank, a combat perception, triple combat perception, and battle training. Has a rank C/Moonrise technique. This is a basic sword attack that can be upgraded. Connection is inactive. Meng Fake thought it was a card interface, just like the Chess of Fate. Is it possible that he ended up in the game? The system said that he should establish a connection with the character as soon as possible, otherwise the system will not be activated and the destruction mode will turn on. Meng Fake thought, does he need to make a connection? He looked up at the girl who was pouring water into the drinking bowl and thought, what's wrong with her? But how can he do this? Bu Fengyan finished, and the system reported that it was detected that the Fate character was leaving the action area. The self-destruct mode was activated. Bu Fengyan began to leave and the countdown began. Meng Fake was scared and mentally asked the system to activate it. He then called out to the girl and told her not to leave. She immediately turned around and asked who said that. Meng Fake shouted that it was him. Bu Fengyan walked up to him and asked, can he really talk? Meng Fake replied that it didn't matter now, he had something to discuss with her. He thinks she has a natural talent, he would even say a unique talent for cultivation. Their meeting is fate, he gives her a great future. Bu Fengyan asked, great future. Technology and heavenly treasures? Meng Fake nodded and said that she is so smart, so will she let him out? Bu Fengyan disagreed and Meng Fake tilted his head to the side in confusion. Bu Fengyan smiled and said that he is the 14th one who has been trying to deceive her for all these years. The animals are cunning, so she is not going to trust them. And he is the material that Brother Lee will use for processing. If something goes wrong, it won't end well for her. Meng Fake exclaimed, processing material? Did they really want to kill him? Bu Fengyan said that he is so sweet and talkative. She gave him a bottle and said that it was a strong toxic medicine that she kept for herself. Maybe this will be useful to him. She's very sorry. The system reported that the Fate character was leaving the action area. Meng Fake thought he was finished. The system reported that an object for communication was detected. Does it want to establish a connection? A system window with a picture of a potion appeared in front of Meng Fake and the girl left, thinking about a great future. She has no future, it's all a lie. Suddenly some guy called out to her and asked how dare she. Bu Fengyan asked Senior Guanxi. Senior Guanxi said that he wanted to know something. Why didn't she come when Brother Lai asked her to meet him yesterday? Bu Fengyan replied that she had her own worries, that's why. Guanxi slapped her in the face and said that this was nonsense, she was clearly disobeying orders. Brother Lai is the chief disciple of the inner sect. He wanted to meet her. This was her chance. Others can't even dream of it. Bu Fengyan looked at him and asked, what other chance? Be his padded jacket. Guanxi calmed down and asked, so she knows everything. Well, it's true. But she is just an external disciple. What kind of future can she have? Why doesn't she just listen to Brother Lai? He stroked her cheek and told her that at least she would have a good time. Bu Fengyan removed his hand from her face and said that even though she is an external disciple, she still has dignity, and let him behave himself. Guanxi got angry and said that if she doesn't want it in a good way, then she will do it in a bad way. Well, he will teach her a lesson for Brother Lai. He hit her again and asked how she could talk about her dignity with such force. He will not be afraid to say it, but what Brother Lai desired has never been out of reach. Bu Fengyan thought that this was bad, she was not his opponent. The The poison she kept for suicide was given to the small beast. Guanxi said that for Brother Lai, she is just another wench. If she behaves well, he will soon let her go. But if she doesn't, he will show her what it means to live worse than death. He was about to hit her again, and she thought this was bad. She couldn't block it. Suddenly, a voice told her to put her left foot forward and dodge. Bu Fengyan immediately made this move, and was able to dodge the blow, and then turned around and thought, who is it? Guanxi cursed and said that she dodged the blow, and she already had the impudence to look around. He pounced on her again, and a voice told her to duck. She crouched down, and then a voice told her to straighten up. Now have her use the top step and horizontal sword strike. Bu Fengyan followed the instructions in her head exactly and brought the ladle to Guanxi's throat and stopped. The bucket of water overturned, and Guanxi said that these were movements of awakening. How can it be? Bu Fengyan thought that he was right, but awakening is only the beginning level of martial arts. Where did she get such a good result? She walked back, and Guanxi said that it was no wonder she refused Brother Lai because she was already with someone else. She replied that she had no one else. Should they stop there and forget what happened here today? Guanxi said that even if he let her go, Brother Lai wouldn't do it. Now she's on her own. After these words, he left, and Bu Fengyan, looking around, asked if she could ask who was helping her and could he show up. Meng Feiqiu asked if she had forgotten his voice after leaving him just now. Bu Fengyan saw Meng Feiqiu in front of her and asked, is it him? How did he become like this? Meng Feiqiu replied that he had just taken the medicine she gave him, and now he became like this. Bu Fengyan turned around in surprise and saw that Meng Feiqiu's body was still in the cage. She approached him and asked what was going on. Meng Feiqiu glanced sideways at the system window and began to think through his answer. The system window reported that Bu Fengyan had given him her last remedy to preserve her dignity. After this, he was able to convey his thoughts directly to the target in order to achieve direct communication. He is now invulnerable to hundreds of poisons. The skill is activated when he ingests poison. From that moment on, he can eat poison as food. Meng Feiqiu told her that his unique ability was to talk to her double. He thought that he couldn't say that this was just a chat function in the system. A tear rolled down Bu Fengyan's cheek, and she said that this was great. She's so glad he's okay. Meng Feiqiu laughed and replied that he would not die so easily. After that, the cell began to disappear, and Bu Fengyan said that she would never forget the kindness of the one who saved her life. Let him leave this place as soon as possible and run away as far as possible. Meng Feiqiu asked what she would do when he was gone. She replied that she had offended Brother Lai. She was afraid that even the Sheniman sect would not save her. So all she can do is stay to buy time for her savior. Meng Feiqiu said that since he started saving her, he would not leave until he finished this matter completely. As for this Brother Lai, she doesn't need to be afraid of him. He wants to ask something. Can she trust him? Meanwhile, Guanxi came to Brother Lai and stood before him, trembling with fear. The girl who was sitting near Brother Lai's feet had a necklace with her number on it. She was 11th. On Brother Lai's lap sat a girl with number 5, and behind him stood another girl. Brother Lai asked. Bu Fengyan dared to disobey his order. The girl with number 5 asked, does a simple external student consider himself to be something special? Brother Lai paid attention to her. She had to come obediently. Brother Lai covered her mouth with his hand and said that on the contrary, he likes women with character. They are much more fun than the obedient wench. The girl answered in fear that it was her fault. After that, he threw her away from him and stood up from the chair. He stepped over the girl and approached Guanxi, saying that since she did not want to go to him, he would come to her himself. Meanwhile, Bu Fengyan took Meng Feiqiu to her secret place and said that no one else knew about it. He can hide here for now. Meng Feiqiu lay down on the bed and said that there is such a wonderful feminine scent here. By the way, he saw earlier that the system sent him a new message. The system reported the main quest. He needs to prevent the apocalypse of the world. To bring about the apocalypse, demons secretly hatched a conspiracy. Let him create his own initial team of 4 to stop the demon conspiracy. Meng Feiqiu thought, does he need to stop the apocalypse? He remembers that this was the final quest of the Chess of Fate. The goal of each player was to complete it. No one knows how this apocalypse began, but those who survived it were left incredibly impressed. The invasion of demons, the influx of beasts, the resurrection of demonic gods, and this is just the tip of the iceberg of the apocalypse. At that time, the whole world will suffer a severe calamity. He must find a way to survive. Bu Fengyan came to the bed. She pulled back the curtain and said that she had prepared a medicinal bath for him. She came to take him to the bath. Meng Feiqiu saw her wearing only a towel, and blood gushed out of his nose. The whole bath was hazy from the hot water. Meng Feiqiu basked in the warm water and said it was gorgeous. Bu Fengyin sat in the same barrel with him and thought about something. Meng Fengyu noticed this and asked what she was thinking about. She became worried, and he asked, "Is she worried about Brother Lai?" Bu Fengyin replied that it was not that she did not believe in the benefactor, she was simply afraid that she would be too mediocre and would not justify his trust. Meng Fengyu told her not to worry. "Do you agree with what she just said? This cruel Brother Lai is 2 levels above her." Bu Fengyin confirmed his words, and Meng Fengyu thought that the martial arts training of Fate Chess is divided into 10 levels, and Bu Fengyin is an external disciple. She has the initial realm of Duangxiujing. And this Brother Lai is already up to the 3rd level of Juaijing. The 2nd level is called Liangxinjing. What the Shenyuan sect teaches its students is all garbage techniques. With Bu Fengyin's talent, if she were to upgrade to a higher grade technique, she would be able to raise her cultivation level. Unfortunately, the system didn't give him the technique, so he'll have to come up with something else. He said that he had already bought enough. Why shouldn't she demonstrate what she learned from this sect? After the bath, Bu Fengyin showed him her sword techniques, and Meng Fengyu thought that when a player first enters the game, he can only learn mediocre techniques. However, through optimization and restructuring of techniques, as well as practice, the player can fight monsters beyond his level. Bu Fengyin bowed to her benefactor, and Meng Fengyu said that he would tell her some tricks next. He began his story, and after a while Bu Fengyin said that he really enlightened her with his words. Meng Fengyu laughed and said that was good. He was glad that she understood. Meng Fengyu's friends smelled a scent and said that something was wrong. Let her hold her breath. At this time, Brother Lai stood at the front door and said that she was just a subordinate, but she dared to let his beast go. If he doesn't teach her some sense today, his reputation will be ruined. Bu Fengyin covered her mouth with her hand and said that it was Brother Lai. He actually found this place. Meng Fengyu thought for a moment, and then smiled and said that he was just in time. He looked at Bu Fengyin and said that he told her everything he wanted. Now the rest is up to her. After all, she has such talents. Brother Lai touched the door and told her not to worry. The fog would not harm her. It's called thirst for love. He opened the doors and said that they would have fun together. But at the same moment, Bu Fengyin raised her sword over him, and Brother Lai did not expect this. He managed to pull back, and Bu Fengyin pointed her blade at him. She thought that this sword strike actually forced him to retreat. The teachings of the benefactor are truly beneficial. Brother Lai took a closer look and thought that she didn't look like she had been poisoned. Does that mean she's prepared for this? This sword strike is obviously much stronger than that of an ordinary external disciple. He smiled and said that she obviously thought too highly of herself to think she could defeat him like that. He drew his sword and Bu Fengyin prepared to strike. Then she blocked the attack and grabbed her blade tighter. After that, she swung her sword and Brother Lai jumped back, saying that this was child's play. He swung his sword and touched her veil that protected her from the fog. He said that although she used a combination of 2 initial sword techniques, she achieved such a miraculous effect. She is truly unusual. Bu Fengyin started coughing after inhaling the mist, and Meng Fengyu said that she inhaled it. The system reported that the poison of the thirst for love had penetrated the character's body. If she doesn't take the antidote, she will lose her mind in 5 minutes and 32 seconds, and her blood will boil and clot in 9 minutes and 32 seconds. Bu Fengyin began to breathe heavily, and Brother Lai said that he admits that she has talent, but unfortunately for her, they are at completely different levels. And she knows what the biggest difference between them is. He attacked, and Bu Fengyin said that he was an inner disciple. Brother Lai said that this is true. The techniques are only available to inner disciples. He pounced on top of her and said he was coming again. Bu Fengyin was able to deflect the blow, and he asked, "The poison is already working, right? And he hasn't shown everything he has yet." Bu Fengyin started to feel bad, and he asked if her whole body was on fire, right? He attacked and said that then let her beg him to release her. She blocked the blow and thought that his sword was so heavy. Brother Lai said that if he pressed any harder, she would be finished. Meng Fengyu pursed his lips and thought, this can't continue. There must be some other way to bridge the gap between them. Bu Fengyin could not withstand Brother Lai's strength and retreated, and he took advantage of this and raised his sword over her, saying that she should not be afraid, he would not kill her. Bu Fengyin was scared, and then Meng Fengyu quickly moved and exposed himself to Brother Lai's attack. He was thrown aside, and Bu Fengyin called out to him in concern. Meng Fengyu stood up and said it hurt. Brother Lai said he thought it was a fly, but he didn't expect it to be a small animal. Bu Fengyin pointed her sword towards Brother Lai and told him to stay away. He asked if she was still trying to resist. It's even better, he wouldn't have fun if she peacefully submitted to him. Bu Fengyin told Meng Fengyu that she would protect him. Meng Feiqiu told her to calm down. From now on, let her do what he says. Bu Fengyan wanted to object, but at that very second, she saw Brother Lai's blade in front of her face, and Meng Feiqiu told her to use a sideways step. Bu Fengyan stepped aside to avoid Brother Lai's blow, and thought that she could do it. Brother Lai gritted his teeth and asked, "Is she lucky?" Meng Feiqiu then told her to use a straight horizontal block. Brother Lai attacked, but Bu Fengyan blocked his blow, and he retreated back, thinking, what was that? She deflected his sword. Isn't she poisoned? Meng Feiqiu thought that Qianqi's natural ability was to sense the approaching danger in advance. Combined with his understanding of techniques, he can predict a target's movements and actions, thereby allowing him to react before the enemy's first attack. Brother Lai began to get angry and said that he had underestimated her. Meng Feiqiu told Bu Fengyan to take 3 steps to the left, and she dodged, and then Brother Lai said that he was the top internal disciple of the sect. He could not lose to a mere external disciple. He swung again to strike, and Meng Feiqiu told Bu Fengyan to take 2 steps back and then to the right. Suddenly, he realized that Bu Fengyan was no longer waiting for his instructions, she was reacting on her instincts. Bu Fengyan caught her breath and told Brother Lai that she would not allow him to do what he wanted, let alone let him harm her benefactor again. With these words, she wounded his shoulder and Brother Lai cursed loudly. Meng Feiqiu asked Bu Fengyan, can she still fight? She confirmed his words, and the system reported that there were 10 seconds left. Brother Lai attacked Bu Fengyan, and she told him not to underestimate her. Meng Feiqiu told her to wait for the moment, then let her use all her strength. Bu Fengyan attacked Brother Lai from above, and Meng Feiqiu said that before he had time to catch his breath, let her act. This is her chance. Let her use her best punch. The system reported that there were 5 seconds left. Bu Fengyan raised her sword and thought that her best strike was a sword swing. She swung her sword and used the oblique moonrise technique, striking Brother Lai. After this, a strong roar was heard and dust rose. Bu Fengyan cleared her throat and saw Brother Lai dead on the floor. Bu Fengyan's blow drove his lower body under the floor, and the system informed Meng Feiqiu that he had successfully assisted the character in development. A new function was now opened. The system reported that there were 3 seconds left. Bu Fengyan was getting worse, and Meng Feiqiu gave her an antidote. She drank it, and within seconds felt much better. He asked how she was feeling. She looked at herself and replied that everything seemed fine. Meng Feiqiu smiled and said that his blood really works. Bu Fengyan noticed that blood was squirting from his paw and said that blood was still gushing out from his wound. Meng Feiqiu was scared and said that this was terrible. Bu Fengyan walked up to him and said that she would help him now. After that, they sat on the bed and Bu Fengyan bandaged his wound. She breathed out a sigh of relief and said that the bleeding had finally stopped. Suddenly some sounds were heard outside, and Bu Fengyan said that it was an alarm. They needed to leave. Meng Feiqiu asked, "What's going on?" Bu Fengyan replied that every inner disciple has the light of life within. Someone should have noticed that Brother Lai's light had gone out. The technique engraved on the light of life will show the approximate location of his death. She's afraid she'll be looking for them soon. After some time, the elder of the Yu Sword Hall, Feng Bu-huo, arrived at the house. He saw Lai Tianhan dead inside the house and thought, who did this? Out of anger, he cut the house with a sword and exclaimed, who dared to kill his beloved disciple of his sect? After that, there was a powerful explosion, and he, looking at the wreckage of the house, thought, has the killer already escaped? A guy ran up to the elder, and he asked, did he learn something? The guy replied that some people say that brother fell in love with one of the outside disciples. Perhaps he came here today to find her. The elder smoothed his beard and asked what her name was. The guy replied that I think her name was Bu Fengyan. The elder turned away from him and said that he had never heard of her. How was the outer disciple able to defeat the inner master disciple? This woman must have collaborated with someone else to kill his beloved disciple. Let him listen to his order. The disciples of the Shenyumen sect must immediately hunt down the killer, no matter what. The guy was scared and thought that if they were able to kill Brother Lai, their practice level must be at least above the 3rd level. How can they, ordinary students, defeat the killer? The elder showed him 5 fingers and said that he would reward anyone who could give him a clue about the killer with 500 spirit stones. Those who have a hand in killing the murderer will be rewarded with a superior spiritual treasure. And the one who catches the killer alive will be rewarded with the highest treasure. He will accept this person as his personal disciple. The guy heard about the treasure and thought it was a good deal. If students find out this now, then no one will be left behind. The next morning, students arrived at the destroyed house. One of them told his friend that this Bu Fengyan was only at the Duangsiyujing level. They had nothing to worry about at all. Moreover, if they find her on the sect's territory, the elders will soon be able to come to their aid. His friend said the only thing that bothers him is that she ran away a long time ago. He moved the bushes aside and said that in the end, the sect would never forgive her for killing her inner disciple. Behind the bushes, he noticed Bu Fengyan feeding Meng Feiqiu and shouted that it was Bu Fengyan. The other students immediately approached him, and he said that he couldn't believe she was hiding nearby. Now they are rich. Meng Feiqiu looked at Bu Fengyan and asked, "Does she understand?" She replied that she seemed to understand. The sect disciple told Bu Fengyan that Elder Feng had put up a reward for her killing Brother Lai. If she doesn't want to suffer, then let her give up now. Other students surrounded her, and he said that they would not want to harm such a beautiful beauty. Bu Fengyan got into a fighting stance, and the guy asked, "Is she really going to fight?" They are inner disciples. With her skills as an external disciple, she still wants to fight against internal ones. Bu Fengyan prepared herself, and Meng Feiqiu said that they would check then. Some time passed. Bu Fengyan put down all the inner disciples and said that she was actually able to defeat them so easily. Meng Feiqiu smiled and said that this is the effect of the new features. A system window with new techniques appeared in front of him. Chuan Fei sword technique is one of the initial techniques for students of divine martial arts. The Myo Yuixin sword technique is one of the original techniques for disciples of divine martial arts. Meng Feiqiu said that all the movement techniques she learned were taken from here. All martial arts that appear in the editor can be used directly by him. They can also be optimized and refined to extract the most effective ways of fighting. Bu Fengyan knelt down in front of him and said that she understood. He asked her to fight with entry-level techniques to teach her. Even the most useless skills can be turned into great weapons. Meng Feiqiu smiled awkwardly and thought that the reason she was fighting with entry-level techniques was because none of them could use higher-level techniques. Bu Fengyan said that she understood everything. This is the difference between an ordinary person and a master. Meng Feiqiu looked away and thought that she was already happy. Bu Fengyan suddenly felt something, and Meng Feiqiu asked, "What is it?" She began to meditate, and a strong aura began to emanate from her. Meng Feiqiu was surprised, then Bu Fengyan exhaled and said that thanks to his guidance, she would have a breakthrough. Meng Feiqiu smiled wryly and thought, "Is this even normal?" As befits a main character, she develops quickly. If she can, then let her keep it up. He said that in any case, they need to continue in the same spirit. The point is that she must quickly understand this world and quickly raise her cultivation. Bu Fengyan agreed, and at that same second an old man came out from behind the bushes. He stepped on a branch and Bu Fengyan heard a crunch, and then turned around and saw him. She got scared and said it was Deacon Lynn. Meng Feiqiu asked, "Who is this?" She replied that he is the head of the inner sect. He is in charge of supervising the practicing disciples, and he is very strong. He is close in strength to the elder. He took good care of Brother Lai. In a way, he was his second master. He won't let them go. Deacon Lin took out a blade, and Bu Fengyan was very scared. Then he rushed at her and injured her, saying that he heard that a genius had appeared among the outer disciples. He thought that this was an amazing person, but he was disappointed. Meng Feiqiu thought that Deacon Ling should be one level below the elder, but that person is so strong. Are there really such masters still hiding in the Shenhemin sect? Bu Fengyan apologized and said that her thoughts were a little clouded and she couldn't react in time. Meng Feiqiu looked up at her and she said that she had just broken through and she didn't want to die here. She raised her sword and Meng Feiqiu thought that this person was not an opponent she could easily deal with. Meanwhile, the student came to the elder and he asked what was the progress. The student replied that Deacon Lin had discovered the trail and was already fighting with her. The elder replied that then he would leave it to his discretion. If it was him, then he was calm. Meanwhile, the battle continued. Bu Fengyan deflected Deacon Ling's blow and pursed her lips at its power. Deacon Lin looked at his weapon and said that he understood. She could actually use basic skills with such proficiency. Even Lai Chanhan couldn't go that far, and she obviously just leveled up. To make a breakthrough in a real battle, you need to have excellent talent and peace of mind. He sighed and said that he was used to teaching his students, so he couldn't finish everything silently. Let her tell him, did she collude with outsiders, intending to harm the sect? Bu Fengyan replied that this was not so. It was Brother Lai who wanted to take her by force, but she resisted. Deacon Lin pounced on her and asked, does she dare to desecrate the name of Chanhan? She deserves to die. Meng Feiqiu had some thought in his head, and at that second Deacon Ling attacked Bu Fengyan, and she thought that this is the art of the 1,000 stars falling inner sect. It is so powerful. She tried to parry the blow and thought she couldn't handle it. Meng Feiqiu told her to raise her head higher. Bu Fengyan thought, is this the voice of a benefactor? Meng Feiqiu said that let her watch his movements carefully. This is her chance to learn the techniques of the inner sect. Bu Fengyin listened and thought that the benefactor clearly wanted her to train in combat. She almost lost the will to fight, shame on her. Deacon Lynn noticed that her mood had changed and wondered if she regained her fighting spirit so quickly. Meng Feiqiu smiled and said that she did the right thing. The system asked if he was willing to give Bu Fengyin special training. Meng Feiqiu thought, what kind of task is this? The system said that even though he doesn't look at Ling Gu's behavior, he actually intends to teach Bu Fengyin several martial arts of the inner sect. Meng Feiqiu thought that Ling Gu must be Deacon Ling. If this quest is to be believed, could it be that Deacon Lin, who seems so embittered, does not harbor any malice towards Bu Fengyin in his heart? Well, he needs to try anyway. Bu Fengyin attacked Deacon Ling, and he thought it was the same technique he had just used. Although the technique is not so powerful, but in such a short time and under such great pressure, its insight and enlightenment already exceeds 90% of students. Bu Fengyin pulled back and thought that if she looked closely, she could see that there was something in Deacon Ling's actions that helped her understand the technique. As one would expect from a benefactor, she is still far from being able to keep up with his insight and enlightenment. Meng Feiqiu praised Bu Fengyin, and the system reported that Bu Fengyin accepted the task, after completing which the owner's exclusive skill would be unlocked. The defeated disciple watched the fight between Bu Fengyin and Deacon Ling and said that this cannot be. This external disciple has already been fighting with the Deacon for at least 10 turns, and she still hasn't lost. Meng Feiqiu thought that he was surprised at every little thing. After that, there was a system notification that the task was completed. He was delighted and said that the first thing he would do was look at the rewards. The system reported that Bu Fengyin had acquired the martial art of falling 1,000 stars, which was added to the technique editor. He wants to optimize the technique in one click. Meng Feiqiu said it was so convenient. He agreed to optimize the technique, and the system reported that the master's skill had been acquired and the transformation had begun. At the same moment, Elder Feng arrived and asked Lin Gu why he was delaying. Bu Fengyin was scared and thought that the elder was here. Suddenly a man came up to him and told them all to stop. Bu Fengyin looked at him and thought that the sect leader was also here. Bu Fengyin found herself surrounded by the strongest masters of the sect, and Elder Feng asked the leader what he meant by the word stop. This woman conspired with an external enemy and killed their chief disciple. She deserves to die. Meng Feiqiu asked quietly, is he an elder? How can he talk to the sect leader in such a tone? Bu Fengyin replied that Elder Feng has always been strong, and he has the intention of suppressing the sect leader. And the head of the sect doesn't even know her, so he's unlikely to stand up for her. The sect leader said that there are still many uncertainties surrounding Lai Chanhan's murder that need to be thoroughly investigated. He takes this student. The elder said that Chanhan was his personal disciple, so there was no need for him to investigate. The head of the sect began to get angry, and Meng Feiqiu said with a laugh that this is what is happening to the once great Shenyuan sect. He didn't expect any of the high-ranking people to make life difficult for an outside disciple. Elder Feng asked who said this. Let him show himself. Meng Feiqiu appeared in front of them and replied that it was him. Elder Feng said that he was the Qianqi cub they picked up. Can he talk? Meng Feiqiu replied that, to be more precise, he is an unusual Qianqi. His appearance began to change, and the elder asked what was happening. Meng Feiqiu took on his human form using his master's exclusive skill. With this skill, he can take on a human form and consume spiritual energy to maintain it. Everyone looked at him in surprise, and one of the students said that he had such a strange outfit. Another student said that this is not the strangest thing. Elder Feng said that he is a demonic beast that can change shape. He is very skilled. Who is he? Meng Feiqiu said that even their founding sect leader, the venerable Scarlet Warrior Fang Yu, had to politely address him as a fellow Taoist. Who is he to shout at him? He thought this was a time when he needed to take control of the situation. Anyway, he had already read about the Shenyuan sect, so he invented an identity for himself to scare them. The elder attacked him and said that this was a blatant lie. Don't let him fool him. He is just a demonic beast. How dare he slander their ancestor? Meng Feiqiu took out a sword, and the sect disciple said that it was his sword. When did he have time? Meng Feiqiu attacked the elder, and the disciple said in surprise that this is the technique of falling 1,000 stars. The sect leader said that it was really like the fall of 1,000 stars, but much more powerful. Meng Feiqiu said that he could not believe that Fang Yu's disciples were only able to develop the martial arts that he passed on to them. He is afraid that the Shenyuan sect will soon perish in their hands. Everyone was surprised by his words, and after that the sect leader said that he, Fang Jin, was glad to meet the elder. He bowed to him, and then led him into the sect building and told him to sit down. Meng Feiqiu sat down on a chair, and Bu Fengyin looked around, thinking that this was the heart of the inner sect. She never thought that she, as an external disciple, would have a chance to get here. Fang Jin called out to her and said that she should not stand there and sit down too. She was surprised, and the other students said that this junior student was really lucky. There was not even a place for them next to the sect leader. Fang Jin sat down next to Meng Feiqiu, and he said that he also had the surname Fang. Is he a descendant of Fang Yu? Fang Jin replied that this was not true, it just happened that he had the same name as the founder. Meng Feiqiu thought that he remembered that when the game started, the head of the sect was already dead, and he was mentioned several times in some tasks, and how he was not a particularly important person. Fang Jin asked why he came to their sect. Meng Feiqiu thought that according to the recollection of the owner of this body, the poor beast was too weak and was picked up by someone from the Shenmen sect. But he can't tell them everything like it is. He replied that in truth, he had a failed cultivation and damaged his meridians. He was nearby and thought that he could find a place to rest in this sect, since the clan was founded by his late friend. But who knew? Fang Jin immediately apologized to him and said that it was all his fault. He couldn't realize everything in time, let him forgive him. Meng Feiqiu replied that anyway, he had already taught Lai Tianhen a lesson, so they would forget about it. Bu Fengyin was overjoyed and thought that this was so generous of the elder. Fang Jin looked at Bu Fengyin and said that she was really lucky. She is taught personally by her elder, and great progress awaits her. She blushed, and Meng Feiqiu said that it was mainly because of Bu Fengyin's talent. This was what he was looking for. Fang Jin said that in this case, he would like to invite him to stay in their sect and recover a little. Here he will be treated with respect and hospitality. Meng Feiqiu agreed and said that he would not refuse then. At the same moment, he again took the form of a beast, and everyone looked at him in shock. The sect leader then turned to the disciples and said that they should quickly go and arrange a place for the elder. As time passed, the disciple approached Fang Jin and said that the elder's residence had already been arranged. The sect leader sighed and said that he could be free. The student left and closed the doors behind him, and after that Lin Gu looked out from behind the curtain, and Fang Jin said that thanks to him, he gained time and opportunity today. If they can keep the elder in the sect, then they will have great luck in the future. Lin Gu said that he checked Bu Fengyin. Her talent is truly outstanding, even higher than Lai Tianhen's. The eldest really has a trained eye. Her future is limitless. Fang Jin said that as for Feng Buhuo, he had suffered a heavy loss, and it was unlikely that Lai would ignore it. It will be difficult, let him watch it. Suddenly, there was an indignant exclamation outside the door. The head of the sect asked what was the matter. Lin Gu said that they should go check. At the same moment, there was an explosion, and Feng Buhuo told Lin Gu that he did not expect him to act like a dog in front of him and betray him behind his back. Sect leader and Deacon Lin both clicked on Feng Buhuo, and Lin Gu said that there was a demon behind him. A few minutes ago, Meng Feiqiu lounged in bed and said that after a couple of days of adventure, it was finally time to sleep comfortably in bed. He was right. A small sect like Shenyamin should attach great importance to the talent of its disciples. The living, talented Bu Fengyin is definitely more valuable than the dead Lai Tianhen. But he didn't expect the sect leader to be in such a state. Obviously, he considers him his savior. If this is so, then why shouldn't he give in? At the same moment, there was an explosion. Meng Feiqiu asked what was happening. A demon with a huge axe entered the house, and Meng Feiqiu asked, "Is this a demon?" It really is a demon. He noticed a mark on the demon's hand and said that this is a battle seal. This is an elite demon. At that second, Bu Fengyin ran out of the forest and told the demon not to dare attack her benefactor. The demon threw her back, and she spat blood from her mouth. The demon said that one is weaker than the other. It's even useless to capture this kind of garbage. He should just kill them all. The demon wanted to attack Bu Fengyin, but Meng Feiqiu repelled his blow, and Bu Fengyin was surprised to see that Meng Feiqiu came to her defense. He thought it was good that he remembered that there was a sword in the house. The demon smiled and said that it was interesting. He could take on human form. Meng Feiqiu said that the elite monsters in the early stages of the game could be killed by only relying on basic martial arts. And now that he has learned the fall of 1,000 stars, it should be easier for him. The demon asked what he was muttering there. Meng Feiqiu replied that he would soon find out. The demon attacked him and said that he should not fool him. Meng Feiqiu thought that he was using the ghost-winged roar. This is a standard technique of an elite demon. The attack is very powerful. If it hits him, it will cripple him greatly. He dodged and thought that the weakness of this technique was obvious. The demon would not be able to change the direction of the attack halfway. Meng Feiqiu quickly appeared behind him, and the demon said that this was impossible. At that very second, Meng Feiqiu pierced his body with a sword and killed the demon. Meanwhile, other students were also defending themselves from the demons. The guy took out his sword and told the demon not to come near him. But the demon did not listen and attacked, and the student was already preparing for death. But suddenly someone defeated the demon, and the student turned around in surprise. He saw Bu Fengyan with Meng Fake-Yu and other students of the sect behind him. The guy asked what he was waiting for. Let him come here. Bu Fengyan turned to Sister Zhu and said that she should check the condition of the brothers on Earth. Sister Zhu agreed, and the wounded disciple asked, "Isn't this a disciple from the outer sect?" The guy grabbed his clothes and told him to show her some respect. The students were afraid of Brother Du and agreed. Brother Du said that it was only thanks to Elder and Sister Bu that they were able to bring them together to fight the demon. Let him keep his mouth shut if he doesn't want to die. The student replied that he was wrong. Meng Fake-Yu said that he did not think that using transformation required such an expenditure of energy. He felt like a squeezed lemon. Suddenly an explosion thundered in the distance, and the students turned towards the sound. One of them said in fear that the sect leader's chambers were there. Meanwhile, the head of the sect and Deacon Lynn left the chambers and prepared to fight Feng Buhuo and the demon. Feng Buhuo turned to Fang Jin and asked, with such insignificant power, does he really think he is worthy of being the head of the sect? They were blind when they handed over the Shenyumin sect into his hands. Fang Jin replied that he really was not talented enough to lead the sect. But even if he was forced to die, he would never cooperate with the demons. Let him not forget that the former sect leader and 2 elders died at the hands of demons. At that very second, the demon pierced his heart with a sword and said that this is nonsense, he talks too much. Lin Gu fearfully called out to the sect leader and then pounced on the demon and swung his sword. But the demon repelled his attack, and Lin Gu thought that he could not defeat him. At that very second, the voice of Meng Fake-Yu sounded in his head, saying that the fall of 1,000 stars was a hoax. The flickering is like fire, and its location is predictable. Lin Gu heard this and thought that the elder was instructing him. The demon attacked him and pierced his body, and Bu Fengyan called out to Deacon Ling in concern. But Lin Gu deceived the demon and ended up behind him and immediately wounded him. Meng Fake-Yu told him that he should use 1,000 stars Tai Bai in the East Kaiming, in the West Changjiang. The demon shouted that he would never lose. Lin Gu attacked him and the demon blocked his blow. But at that same second, Bu Fengyan's sword pierced the demon's back, and he slowly turned around. Morning came. Bu Fengyan asked Meng Fake-Yu, will this work? Meng Fake-Yu replied that everything will be fine, don't let her worry. Bu Fengyan opened the huge doors in front of her, and the sect members welcomed the new leader. Bu Fengyan sat down in the head seat and said that they didn't need to be so formal. Meng Fake-Yu sat down on a chair nearby and said that the previous sect leader was killed, but who would have thought that Deacon Lin would choose her as the new sect leader? But it's even better, it unlocked a new feature for him. The system announced that a new feature had been opened, the achievement system. The sect leader achievement has been completed. Evening came, Bu Fengyan sighed and said that it was finally over. She still can't believe it, it's like a dream. Lin Gu said that the head was so talented that she took revenge for the previous head by killing his killer with her own hands. So no one had any objection to her taking that place. Bu Fengyan thought that this was true, but in her heart she knew that she was given this place more because of her benefactor than for anything else. One of the students turned to the head and said that another student had escaped from the mountain. Deacon Lin said they were scared. The traitor Feng Buhuo took advantage of the chaos to escape, and his whereabouts are still unknown. If he conspired with the demons to attack again, they would have a hard time holding out. Everyone in the hall tensed, and Meng Fake-Yu said that since they have a new sect leader, he thinks he should give her a gift. He handed Bu Fengyan the scroll, and she was very surprised. Then Deacon Lin came up to her and said that this was the sacred protective formation of Yuanji. It looks like it's at least a mysterious class defensive formation. Meng Fake-Yu flew up to him and said, more precisely, Earth class. Everyone present said that it was even higher than the mysterious class. Meng Fake-Yu thought that he did not know that there were rewards for achieving achievements. When he played the game, this spell was only available to large sects. He received this spell as a reward for his achievement. Deacon Lin burst into tears and said that as expected from the Elder, their sect was saved. If they set up an Earth-grade mountain defense formation, then the demons would not be able to enter so easily. It's a pity that the sect doesn't have the materials to create a protective formation. He turned to the sect leader and said that she should send someone to the nearest branch of the array pavilion to buy them. Bu Fengyan agreed, and some time passed from that moment. They arrived in the city, and Brother Du, who was carrying Meng Fake-Yu in a basket, said that they were there. Meng Fake-Yu said let them come in. He thought it was the Array Pavilion, which was called the Array Masters Guild in the game. Everyone who wants to become a spellcaster must pass a test. Sister Zhu and Brother Du approached the pavilion workers, and he asked who they are. What are they doing here? Brother Du replied that they were disciples of the Sheniman sect, and they were here to buy some formation materials. The worker asked, is this a small sect from Song Quan City? They need to get a number and wait at the door. The sect disciples came out, and Brother Du told Sister Zhu that this guy has such a bad attitude. She said that there are few spellcasters, so they are all arrogant. Brother Du looked at Mang Fake Yu and said that it was their fault that they didn't know anything about spells and had to resort to this place. Mang Fake Yu replied that it was okay, he still wanted to go for a walk. After that, the pavilion workers threw the girl and guy out of the building and told them to leave. Guan Ling, who they kicked out, asked how is this possible. His sister tried the magic circle at home. It clearly works. His sister Guan Yu stood nearby and remained silent. The pavilion worker said dissatisfiedly that this was a formation diagram left by the senior master. Another worker said that his sister is not even an apprentice, and she dares to change anything. Guan Ling folded his hands in prayer and said that let his sister try again. The pavilion worker raised his hand to hit him and said that he was so annoying. But Brother Du stopped his hand and looked threateningly. After that, Mang Fake Yu received a system message, which said that the system had found a fake character, let him make a choice. Other pavilion workers came out of the building and asked what was that noise. His colleague replied that they say that this girl appeared out of nowhere and she wants to become a charmer. The girl was so proud of herself that she claimed to have perfected the Xuangxi red fire formation. Someone else asked, who does she think she is if even the senior members of the pavilion don't dare to claim that they can perfect the spell? Mang Fake Yu thought that this scenario felt somewhat cliché. After that, someone shouted, "Wei, Master Zhu is here." Everyone made way for formation Master Zhu Bohong, and Mang Fake Yu thought that he looked like a tough guy. Maybe he would cause them trouble. Zhu Bohong turned to the sect disciples and said with a smile that he was the spellcaster Zhu Bohong. He doesn't know what's going on. Could they explain it to him? The sect disciples and others were very surprised. The pavilion member thought that Master Zhu from the main pavilion of the Array Pavilion had always been above everyone else. Why is he so polite to them? Zhu Bohong smiled and thought that they were all idiots who had not yet seen the world. At one time, he was an elite spellcaster in the main court. He was so proud that he didn't care about ordinary people. One day, a young man came to the main courtyard and said that he wanted to immediately become an elite cultivator. He, as the person responsible for the reception, not only refused him, but also ridiculed him for his insolence. But who would have thought that this young man really was him? He demonstrated 2 high-level spells in front of the audience. After this, the young man was recognized as a master and promoted to the rank of elite. Because he insulted him, he was sent to this wilderness. Since then, he has been practicing the art of reading people and never makes the mistake of judging people by their appearance. These few people in front of him are clearly from an unusual place. And the most unusual of them is that tall guy. It's definitely him. He looked at Brother Du and thought that he was standing slightly in front, with a beautiful woman next to him, and he had a daimonic beast as a pet. He turned sharply to the crowd and asked what they were looking at. Let them disperse. After that, they entered the pavilion and Guan Yu showed an improved spell. Zhu Bohong looked at the magic circle on the floor and asked, "Is this her best spell?" Guan Ling replied that his sister tried it at home and it worked great. Zhu Bohong thought that the array had been simplified in several places, but the modifications were completely out of line. In his opinion, this is just complete nonsense from a non-professional. He looked at the puzzled Brother Du and thought that this young man had such a serious expression. Maybe you found something. At this time, Brother Du peered into the magic circle and thought, what is this even? He doesn't understand at all. Mang Fake Yu looked at the spell and thought that it was a coincidence that he had seen this spell before. When he played, there was a quest that required players to find material for a formation. He waved his hand at Sister Zhu and thought that there was no need for him to take on a human form, so he would let this miss speak for him. Sister Zhu said that the problem was the material. All eyes immediately turned to her, and she said that if she was not mistaken, one of the materials they used at home was called unrefined jade. Guan Yu confirmed her words, and Sister Zhu said that the jade from the Array Pavilion was selected for its purity. This is why the spell is missing some key materials. They can take some ordinary copper and iron and combine them with refined jade. The pavilion worker raised his hand and shouted that he would do it. After that, they combined the materials with jade, and someone said that it really works. Mang Fake Yu thought that he remembered the quest saying that this modified spell was found in a cave, and he didn't know who was responsible for it. Could it be that the creator of the enhancement is this girl? Zhu Bohong thought that he was right. If the girl is a master of spell formation, then the young man next to her must be even more outstanding. He approached Sister Zhu and said that changing a spell is not something that an ordinary spellcaster can do. They are both so young, but already have so much knowledge. She smiled awkwardly and couldn't find anything to answer him. Guanling turned to his sister with sparkling eyes and said that she could finally become a cultivator. But before he had time to utter the last words, he fell unconscious to the floor. His sister called out to him worriedly and sat down next to him. Zhu Bohong asked what happened. Other pavilion workers came closer and someone asked, "This is not an attempt at blackmail, is it? Should they call a doctor?" Meng Feiqiu thought that looking at him, he would not be able to tell that he was sick. He jumped from Sister Zhu's arms and took on human form. Zhu Bohong asked how he became a human. Brother Du replied that this was the elder of the sect, and they were keeping him company. Zhu Bohong was very surprised and thought, is this demonic monster their elder? He's been practicing the art of reading people for years, and he can't believe he was wrong. Meng Feiqiu called out to Master Zhu and asked if he could arrange a room so that he could examine this young man. Zhu Bohong agreed, and after that they carried Guanling into the room and a huge wound appeared on his body. Meng Feiqiu examined it and thought it was a sign of a demonic seed, and the picture looked familiar. This child, it can't be him. Meanwhile, his sister sat behind the screen and bit her nails from worries. Meng Feiqiu came out to her and asked her what her brother's name was. Guan Yu replied that his name was Guanling. Meng Feiqiu thought that he was really that Guanling. He is also the first boss of the game, a man infected with demonic energy. Because of the death of a loved one, he became overcome with grief. At one time he was called the Novice Oppressor due to his high attack and agility, making him a very difficult opponent. Death of a loved one. Is it about his sister? His sister was indeed a very gifted spellcaster, but he does not know how she died. If he takes them under his wing, maybe then. Guan Yu knelt down in front of him and said that he should help her brother. Meng Feiqiu looked at her and then decided to take both of them to the sect. After a while, near the gate of the Sheniman sect, Bu Fengyan greeted Zhu Bohong with respect and said that she did not expect Master Zhu to come to them in person and help establish the formation. She was grateful to him. Zhu Bohong replied that the Sheniman sect actually harbors more hidden dragons and tigers, so he had long wanted to visit them. Brother Du said that Senior is really great. After seeing the drawing of their formation, the formation pavilion chose not to take a single stone, but to come and help. Meng Feiqiu said that they should leave it to them. Taking part in a high-level formation like theirs could replace years of practice for them. Meanwhile, the brother and sister were peeking out from behind the tree, and Guan Yu told her brother that he shouldn't run away. Guanling said happily that he still couldn't believe it. Are they really going to join the immortal sect? His sister confirmed his words and said that the elder said that his condition was under control for now, but it could worsen again later. That's why the elder took them with him to help cure him. Guanling said that the elder is a good person, he will try his best to repay him in the future. As time passed, Meng Feiqiu exhaled and thought that with these two, he was finally close to the main quest. The system reported that his initial team was one of 4 people. Meng Feiqiu was surprised and thought, why is this? He chose Guan Yu, but the starting number still hasn't changed. Why is this even so? He thought that he had done his job by accepting Guan Yu, but who knew? He opened the characteristics window and realized that in fact the connection was still not active. Guan Yu's vitality is 5, body foundation is 9, knowledge of nature is 10, and luck is 7. She has the passive skill spell formation mastery. With it, she can learn and create spells 3 times faster than normal. She also has the Xuangxi red fire formation technique. The fire spell has been improved. Meng Feiqiu thought that it seemed that it was necessary to have an anchor object to establish a connection. What about her brother? He opened Guanling's stats window, and the system reported that this character had variable abilities and could not join the original team. Meng Feiqiu was upset and thought that the formidable first boss of the dungeon was not strong enough, contrary to expectations. It turns out he did all this in vain. Suddenly he heard some noise outside and asked if someone had come. He opened the doors and saw Guanling and Guan Yu in the courtyard, cleaning up. Guanling asked for forgiveness and said that they just decided to help him and swept the yard. Meng Feiqiu said that everything is fine. He thanks them for their help. Guanling bowed to him and said that it was they, the younger ones, who should thank the elder for accepting them. They don't even have anything to offer him. He showed him red jades and said that he found it in the mountains and he didn't know if it was precious. If he doesn't mind, then let him accept it. Meng Feiqiu was very surprised and thought that this was the Beast King's blood jade, a middle-rank mysterious grade magical treasure. Such an item only dropped in the Guanling dungeon. Martial arts and subjects in Destiny chess are divided into 3 categories and 12 classes. The rank of the lower 5 classes is divided into primary, superior, superior, improved, and unique classes. The middle 4 classes are precious, mysterious, earthly, and celestial. And the highest 3 classes include the holy, immortal, and divine class. This jade is not high grade, but suitable for all professions. If he is lucky, he can get very good attributes. He wouldn't even be able to tell how many times he beat Guanling to get this jade. Manhwa Tower said that since he is sincere, he will accept this treasure. From now on, they must train hard, let them not let him down. He took the jade and thought it was a nice gift from the boss of the first dungeon himself. The system window showed information about the item. Attack speed and critical strike plus 15%. Manhwa Tower thought that these were already good attributes that could be obtained from the bloody jade of the Beast King. Suddenly, a new system window appeared in front of him and Manhwa Tower was surprised. The system window reported that he had received the achievement, the first greatest treasure mined. He received an attribute stone. Manhwa Tower was overjoyed and thought that he had actually received a donated item as a reward. The system reported the item is a special item that adds a random attribute to any mid-class equipment. Manhwa Tower thought that if he could get the burst damage attribute, this blood jade would be perfect. He needs to try it. At this time, the brother and sister looked at Manhwa Tower and Guan Yu thought, why did the elder suddenly stop moving? Guanling stood still and thought, how dare they move or ask something? Suddenly Manhwa Tower turned around sharply and flew into the room. He closed the doors behind him and began to laugh loudly. Guanling and his sister were scared, and he asked, does the elder seem to be in a good mood? Guan Yu sighed and invited him to continue cleaning. Manhwa Tower looked at the bloody jade and thought that it was indeed an explosive level attribute, but it had not reached the maximum of 200%. But even without this, this is a top attribute. He's so excited about this dungeon boss. Suddenly Guanling sneezed loudly and his sister asked if he had a cold. He replied that he didn't think so. It was just that for some reason his nose suddenly itched. Meanwhile, at the foot of the mountain, a crowd of wounded people was approaching the sect, and one of them said that this is Shenemen. The students at the entrance noticed a crowd of people at the foot, and one of them told his friend to look. There are so many people ahead. It seems they are all from nearby sects, and they seem to be aggressive. His friend said that something was wrong. He would immediately report it to the head. He ran away, and the other disciples stayed to meet members of other sects. He bowed to them as a sign of respect and asked if he could find out what they were all doing here. The guy from the other sect didn't listen and immediately wounded him, saying that the Shenemen sect dared to cooperate with the demons and attack their sects, and they will crush the Shenemen sect today and make them pay with blood. The other sect members agreed with him and said that they would kill him. They went inside, and the guy asked where all the disciples from their sect were. Apart from the guard dog at the entrance, he saw no one else. Another sect member said that he just saw a disciple run in here. Maybe he told the others to all hide? The guy said that this is the smallest sect of the 9 clans, which barely managed to gain a foothold here, wagging its tail in front of everyone. Who would have thought that this would backfire on them? They noticed someone on the road, and the guy shouted that there was someone there. Guan Yu was drawing a formation on the road, and Zhu Bohong said that she was indeed very talented. This is a complex and multifaceted formation. If someone else had drawn it, it would be difficult to guarantee that no mistakes would have been made. Suddenly, there was a strong explosion at the entrance to the sect, and they heard it. Zhu Bohong turned around and said, "This is the small defensive array he set up. The enemy is approaching." Members of the remaining sects fell into a trap, and one of them said that it was an ambush. Shenemen must be conspiring with the demons to catch them all. Bu Fengyan approached him and asked why he thought that they were in league with the demons. One of the sect members called out to Master Lynn and said that he should call his leader. The other guy shouted, "How dare they still fight and use these dirty tricks?" Lin Gu thought that those guys always belittled them because they were a little stronger. And why do all the troubles fall one after another? The guy told the others not to panic. They might break this formation. Today, they will definitely destroy them all. Zhu Bohong walked up to them and said that this is a strong statement. Let them get started. He wants to see who can do it. The sect members recognized Master Zhu, and someone said that it seems that this is the master from the array pavilion. The man asked why he was here. Zhu Bohong replied that he had been friends with the Shenemen sect for a long time. Or do they have some problems? The guy from the other sect said that this is Master Zhu from the array. He has never been kind to him. Could it be that he is now also with demons? Manhwa Tower called out to them and asked if they could tell him something. What do these constant words about demons mean? The sect members were surprised to see Meng Fake Yu, and after that they learned the whole truth. The man said that who would have thought that something like this could happen in Shenimen? Meng Fake Yu thought that it turned out that after Feng Buhuo left, he and the demon attacked other sects. As a result, they decided that the entire Shenimen sect had become assistants to the demons. The man said that since it was a misunderstanding, he asked Master Zhu to lift the spell. They would like to apologize to everyone and discuss how they can fight the demons. Bu Fengyan agreed and asked Master Zhu if he could do it. Zhu Bohong agreed, and after that he lifted the spell and a student ran up to them with a wounded guy who had previously stood at the gate. Bu Fengyan asked what happened. The student replied that he found him at the entrance. It looks like he is seriously injured. Meng Fake Yu glanced at the sect members and asked which one of them did this. Everyone immediately glanced sideways at one guy and he began to worry. He asked, they were all screaming at the foot of the mountain, weren't they? And doesn't it seem strange to them that the entire Shenimen sect revere this demonic beast? Bu Fengyan gave him a determined look and said that she was challenging him. The guy replied that only out of respect for Master Zhu he would not mess with her. But does she really think that he, Wanjun Palm, Zhao Yuebin, is afraid of them, the Shenimen sect? Meng Fake thought, Wanjun Zhao Yuebin's palm. He remembers this guy. He is the first elite monster of the Guanling dungeon, and he was one of its warriors. In other words, although he is trying to appear emotionless now, but in fact, once he gets to the demons, he will immediately join them, like Feng Buhuo. He whispered something in Bu Fengyan's ear, and she handed him over to Sister Zhu's hands, and she stood opposite Zhao Yuebin. Meng Fake Yu thought that it was understandable that other sects were skeptical and were taking a wait-and-see attitude. If they are not pacified now, then in the future there will be no room for Shenimen. Bu Fengyan said that she did not know what cultivation level the sect leader was at, but she knew that when the sect leader encountered the demon, instead of fleeing the sect, he decided to die with honor. After these words, she took out a sword and the others began to worry. Zhao Yuebin attacked her and told her not to be arrogant, but Bu Fengyan immediately repelled his blow, and the members of other sects said that this was a precious grade martial art. Meng Fake Yu thought that now they understood what was happening. The martial arts of their sects are at best at the level of the lower 5 classes. However, one of his improved martial arts was promoted to the middle 4 grades. It's much more luxurious than what he had in his time. Bu Fengyan noticed that Zhao Yuebin had opened himself up to be hit and immediately wounded him. He fell to the ground and Master Zhu asked, is anyone still not convinced? Let them not bother Master Bu anymore. If they have the courage, then they can go to him, Zhu Bohong. The man said excitedly that it was all a misunderstanding. Others began to assent to him, and then Meng Fake Yu flew up to Bu Fengyan and said that he needed to return to his room to do cultivation, so he would leave these people to her and Deacon Ling. Bu Fengyan said that he should take care of himself. After that, Meng Fake Yu returned to his house and noticed Guan Ling sweeping the yard. Meng Fake Yu called out to him and asked why he was working again. Guan Ling smiled and said that his sister was more gifted than him, and she could help the sect create a formation. He, in turn, doesn't know how to do anything special, so he talked to his brother in charge of cleaning and took over his work. Meng Fake Yu thought, is the dungeon boss cleaning his yard? His self-esteem grows before his eyes when he thinks about it. This guy has a hard time. If possible, he will try to take care of it in the future. Suddenly, Guan Ling looked sharply to the side and Meng Fake Yu asked, what is it? Guan Ling replied that he thought he felt something familiar. Meng Fake Yu thought, is something familiar? Could it be that the demons are making some kind of move? Zhu Bohong approached the courtyard and asked the elder if he could see him. Meng Fake Yu thought, is this Master Zhu? Judging by his tone, he really wants to see him. Zhu Bohong walked up to him and said that the cultivator from the array pavilion had just sent a message. He saw that the demons were gathering nearby, and it seemed that they were ready to attack the Shenimen sect. Meng Fake Yu asked how long it would take to complete the formation of their defense. Zhu Bohong replied that it would take at least 2 days if they worked without sleep. Meng Fake Yu thought that this was a problem, as there were many other sects on the mountain now, and they obviously would not listen to each other. If the demons attack during these 2 days, there will be chaos here. Meng Fake Yu asked where is the informant. He would like to meet him. Zhu Bohong replied that he left him to help with the spell. Now he will personally bring him. Meng Fake Yu replied that there was no need for that, he would go with him. Meanwhile, a plump guy stood in the main courtyard. He wiped the sweat from his face and said that he was here to deliver the Magic Circle Master token to a girl named Guan Yu. Who would have thought that halfway he would encounter demons? Zhu Bohong looked at Meng Feiqiu and thought that after the elder arrived here, he became thoughtful and remained silent for a long time. He doesn't know whether the elder is listening to him or not. Suddenly, Meng Feiqiu smiled and Zhu Bohong noticed this and thought, has he really found a way out of the situation? Meng Feiqiu said that he had one idea that might work. Zhu Bohong think he was right. Meng Feiqiu smiled and thought that God himself was helping him. When he came here just now, he received a communication item. This is the connection with Guan Yu. Master Zhu said something about this. Array tokens are made to order and therefore cannot be issued locally. When they left, Guan Yu could not get it yet. After that, Meng Feiqiu looked at the description of the item and the system reported that only with the help of his efforts was Guan Yu able to achieve success. From this point on, they can transmit their thoughts directly to each other to achieve communication. He received the skill of analyzing magic arrays. This skill is activated after acquiring a token. Now no one knows spells better than him. Meng Feiqiu thought that he tried it, and it only took a little time. Now he can understand the principles and structures of spells. It is quite possible to split a spell into smaller parts. Then this is built according to each person's level, a sort of division of labor. In any case, first he needs to discuss his thoughts with the others. He told about everything, and they looked at him in surprise. Meng Feiqiu thought they looked so strange. Did he say something wrong? Zhu Bohong suddenly knelt down in front of Meng Feiqiu and said that he would like to join the Shenyumen sect. Let him accept him. Others also stood up and kneeled and said that they too would like to join the sect. Guan Yu also knelt down and said that she was also asking for this. But suddenly she covered her mouth with her palms and thought that she was already a disciple of the sect. Meng Feiqiu asked in confusion, what is wrong with them? Zhu Bohong said that the elder's words are like great enlightenment. Even in the main pavilion of the array, he had never heard of such subtlety in his life. Meng Feiqiu smiled wryly and thought that he simply took the experience from the modern world and applied it to the spell. He is a little surprised by their reaction. Zhu Bohong said that the elder's knowledge is incomprehensible, and today he had the honor of learning these wonderful teachings. However, they do not dare to demand more knowledge. They will humbly wait for mercy, otherwise they may offend the teacher, and then their path to the Tao will be destroyed. Meng Feiqiu thought that it didn't matter. They even seemed happy. In any case, the Array Pavilion is just an association of cultivators, and it does not restrict the cultivator from joining other sects. Meng Feiqiu said that regarding joining the sect, they should ask the sect leader, but before that, they must fight the demons. Everyone immediately bowed to him and told him not to worry. They will do their best to complete the spell and will guard the gate until their death. Meanwhile, a paper bird was flying nearby. The guy who looked through the eyes of this bird told Sister Jian that no demons had been seen yet. She said, let him keep looking. This Liangyan Kiju is not the best place for cultivation, as there is almost no spiritual energy here. This woman's name is Jian Yanyan. She is from the Xingyu sect. A young man approached her and said that if it weren't for the traces of demons, they probably wouldn't even look at this place. He heard that the one who offended him before was sent to the Array Pavilion here. His name is Yigu Feng. He is also from the Xingyu sect. He laughed mentally and thought that the man was so poor. Suddenly the guy called out to Sister Jian and said that the paper gods I had detected the demons. They flew closer to them on swords, and the guy asked where so many of them came from. I think there are about 200 or 300 of them. Yigu Feng said that there are several small sects in Liangyan Kiju. They cannot even withstand several dozen demons. What did these demons want with all this fuss? The guy noticed the Shenyumen sect and said that it seemed like there was a sect ahead. Is it possible that demons are planning to attack them? Jian Yanyan rushed forward and told them to follow her. The guy laughed and said that this sect was really very lucky. The Xingyu sect is personally ready to help them. Yigu Feng said that if it weren't for Sister Jian's immense hatred for demons, this sect wouldn't even have people to bury their corpses. But suddenly the formation was triggered and Jian Yanyan asked in surprise, is this the Great Mountain Defense Formation? The rest of the sect members were surprised, and the guy told Yigu Feng that spell formation was his strong point. Yigu Feng looked at the formation in surprise and said that it was impossible. The Xingyu sect is a 3rd level sect, and their mountain defense formations are only Earth class level. But the spell power of this sect is also Earth class. Meanwhile, Feng Buhuo walked in the middle of the crowd of demons and said that it was impossible. Since when do they have something like this? The demon commander called out to him and said that he asked them to help him take revenge, and he didn't even know the enemy's full capabilities, which is why they lost their soldiers. Feng Buhuo did not find anything to answer, and the demon ran up to his commander and said that the people of Shenyumen had entered the battle. The demon commander looked ahead, where Bu Fengyan and the rest of the members from different sects were fighting. Mang Feiqiu found himself on the battlefield and thought that the transformation skill was inconvenient because it required constant consumption of spiritual energy. Fortunately, other sects had taken refuge here, and their leaders were able to engage in battle without any problems. The demon commander approached Mang Feiqiu, and he began to transform, taking on a human form. Jian Yanyan noticed this and said that the demonic beast had transformed. Yigufeng took a closer look and said that his clothes were so strange. Jian Yanyan began to watch the battle from above, and Mang Feiqiu rushed to attack. The demon commander blocked his sword and, sensing its power, asked how this was possible. At that very second, Mang Feiqiu broke through his defense and killed him. Jian Yanyan was very surprised, and at this time the body of the demon commander fell to the ground and Mang Feiqiu looked at him. A guy from another sect asked the man, did he just feel this? The man said that this powerful force seemed to suddenly burst out from the elder. Mang Feiqiu thought that he now understood what it was like to hit with a crit. Suddenly his sword broke into many pieces and Mang Feiqiu thought, why did his sword break? Everyone else looked at him in surprise and Mang Feiqiu thought that everyone was looking at him. He was so embarrassed. The man shouted in admiration that the elder's seemingly light blow destroyed the sword. Mighty elder, death to demons. The sect members continued to chant this and Mang Feiqiu thought that who would have thought that after this, their morale would skyrocket. Meanwhile, Feng Buhuo rushed to run and began to curse Ling Gu and Bu Fengyan. He will return, and then they will see who wins. In a clearing in the forest, he met members of the Xingyu sect and asked who dares to stop him. Jian Yanyan asked what happened to the demonic beast that just took on a human form. Feng Buhuo became angry and asked where this nameless junior came from. Does she want to die? He wanted to hit her with his demonic hand, but she cut off his hand and said that she would ask again. What kind of animal was this? Feng Buhuo was scared and told everything. He wiped his tears and said that his disciple was killed by them, and he was expelled by the sect. Now that this monster has seized control of the Sheniman sect, he asks them to help him judge everything fairly. Yigufeng turned to Jian Yanyan and asked what they would do. She replied that she did not know whether the situation with the beast was true or not, but they all saw that it was the person who went over to the demons. Let them seize him. Evening came, the attack of the demons was successfully repelled, and everyone began to shout that they had won. The man and the rest of the sect members bowed to Mang Feiqiu and Bu Fengyan and said that from now on they would honor the Shenyuman sect. After that, Mang Feiqiu received a system notification about a new achievement, the head of the union. He received the mysterious furniture gacha item. Mang Feiqiu thought that he remembered this from the home ownership system. Is it time to unlock new features? He looked at the admiring sect members and thought that there were too many people here. He would do it later. The sect disciple approached Bu Fengyan and said that they had found no trace of Feng Buhuo. Deacon Lynn asked, has this scoundrel escaped again? Suddenly Jian Yanyan approached them and, showing them the tied-up Feng Buhuo, asked if this was the person they were looking for. Everyone else recognized him and Bu Fengyan asked if she could find out who gave them a helping hand. Jian Yanyan introduced herself and said that she was a disciple of the Xingyu sect, and the two next to her were her sect brothers. Yigufeng introduced himself, followed by a guy who introduced himself, saying that his name was Shi Wenhao. Everyone else was surprised and thought, Xingyu sect? Why would they come to such a remote place? Mang Feiqiu thought, Yigufeng is from the Xingyu sect. Isn't this one of the Fate characters in the original game? He is an exceptionally gifted individual, especially in the areas of spell formation and artifact making. In just a few years, he became the head disciple of the Xingyu sect. Suddenly, Mang Feiqiu received a system alert that the system had detected a Fate character. Let him make a choice. Mang Feiqiu thought that he thought so. But suddenly, he saw that only Jian Yanyan was available for selection and thought that it was not Yigufeng, but a girl named Jian Yanyan. What's happening? 15 minutes ago. Yigufeng walked up to Feng Buhuo and asked if she thought he was lying. Jian Yanyan replied that they should not take his words at face value, but they should not believe him either. After all, this beast is known for its ferocity, and it is not much kinder than demons. They can just introduce them to each other, and then wait and see what happens. They will see what this demonic beast is up to. At present, Mang Feiqiu thought that, like the previous case, there is no subject to contact, but it doesn't matter, he will wait and see. Yigufeng mentally told Jian Yanyan that this demonic beast seemed to be looking at her. She replied that among all the people present, her cultivation was the highest, but even so, she could not find out the cultivation level of this beast. She told her brothers that they should be vigilant. If the beast does something wrong, then let them use the magic weapon given by the sect to fight it. Deacon Lynn turned to the elder and asked if he could ask what they should do about Feng Buhuo. The disciples of the Xingyu sect became wary and thought that they had finally come to the point. They will see how the demonic beast solves this matter. Feng Buhuo called out to the elder and said that he was confused and fell under the spell of demons. He asks him to be merciful and save his life. Yigifeng thought that this was actually not what he said before. With this, he only admitted his guilt. Meng Feiqiu said that sect leader Fang died because of him. May his life serve as a tribute to the spirit of the Fan chief. The man said that the former chief's bravery in fighting the demon is an example for their generation. The other man said that if they didn't mind, they would also like to offer a favor to Master Fang. Lin Gu thought that he was worried about how he would explain himself to these sects, but he did not expect them to meet them halfway. Thus, if they were allowed to watch Feng Buhuo's execution, then all meals would be packed. All this thanks to the elder, whom everyone respects. From now on, the Shenyaman sect will no longer be nameless and bullied. Yigufeng mentally asked Giant Yanyan, did she find anything? She replied that there was no powerful demonic aura or traces of mind affecting spells. Those who speak and act seem to do so with the best of intentions. They both looked at Meng Feiqiu and Giant Yanyan thought, could it be that the demonic beast is a former great man of the right path? As time passed, Meng Feiqiu yawned and said that it was finally over. Now he'll see what comes out of the gacha. He used a gacha item and a spiritual wood tea table appeared in his room. The entire table is made from a single piece of spiritual wood, which is capable of releasing a constant flow of spiritual energy. Tea tree leaves, which grow in symbiosis with the tea table, can be used to strengthen the mind. And in the separated zone heat is generated, which can be used to prepare tea leaves. Meng Feiqiu was overjoyed and thought that he had recently been worried about the lack of spiritual energy on this mountain. He got lucky, and the effect is activated only by him. No one else can use it. The tea set that was brought to him has not yet been taken away, so he will try to brew tea for himself. After that, he made himself some tea and inhaled the aroma. He tasted the tea and thought the taste was so sweet and refreshing. It is also rich in spiritual energy, which he can absorb directly. Suddenly someone knocked on the door and Meng Feiqiu asked who was there. Guanling said that it was him, Xingyu sect disciple Jian Yanyang, who was waiting for an audience outside the courtyard. Meanwhile, Jian Yanyan stood at the entrance to the courtyard and looked around. She thought that this place was worthy of being called the residence of the elder. This place is also rich in spiritual energy, just like their Xingyu sect. From the words of sect leader Bu, the elder was a close friend of the founder of Shenyaman sect. She touched the object under her belt and thought maybe it could help her. Guanling came out to her and called out to her. He pointed to the residence and said that she could pass. Meanwhile, Meng Feiqiu sat and finished his tea. He put the teacup on the table and thought that he seemed to have overlooked one thing. The Shenyaman sect was attacked by demons and most of the houses were destroyed. Deacon Lynn most likely got this room for him with great difficulty. Also, Jian Yanyan from the Xingyu sect should have good insight. If she saw him settling here as a guest, wouldn't she think anything extra about his relationship with the sect? Suddenly, Jian Yanyang's voice was heard behind the screen. She asked the elder for forgiveness for the intrusion. She thought that the residence was furnished with a simple and uncluttered layout. Apparently, the eldest has a temperament and doesn't care about worldly glitter. Meng Feiqiu said that she could come in. She came out from behind the screen and was suddenly very surprised to see the tea table. She thought, did she get it right? A whole piece of spiritual wood was actually made into a tea table. Even they, the Xingyu sect, need to be careful when they receive such a large piece of spirit wood. This is usually used to make magical weapons. It cannot be used as needed. Meng Feiqiu told her not to be shy, let her sit down, drink a cup of tea, and tell him what she wanted to talk to him about. Jian Yanyan thought, is he really one of the great masters of this world? After that, she sat down and picked up the teacup. An awkward atmosphere reigned in the room and Meng Feiqiu asked why she wanted to see him. She apologized and said she was rude. She put the token on the table and asked, has he seen this before? She thought that this token had an ancient appearance, but without a trace of aura fluctuation, it was an ordinary item. She's already asked a few elders to take a look at it, but they're not sure where it came from. If the elder can't recognize it, he probably won't need it. Meng Feiqiu was a little surprised to see this and Jian Yanyan thought, did he really recognize it? Meng Feiqiu touched the token and it began to shine, and Jian Yanyan was very surprised. Meng Feiqiu took the token and asked where she got this Order of the Immortal Alliance from. Jian Yanyan replied that it was her mother's relic. The true name of this token is Order of the Immortal Alliance. She only knows from her mother's notes that the item was found in the Liangyun area of Kiju. She couldn't imagine that the elder knew about this thing. Meng Feiqiu thought that, of course, the Order of the Immortal Alliance is essentially the key to the dungeon. And since it has a system, it responds naturally. Moreover, the location of the dungeon was also marked. Suddenly someone knocked on the door and Bu Fengyin called out to Meng Feiqiu. He told her to come in, and from the threshold she began to say that strange phenomena had just appeared in the southwest of the Sect. Deacon Lynn guessed that this was probably the opening of a secret realm, or the appearance of a spiritual treasure. Meng Feiqiu replied that he already knew about it. The girls looked at him in surprise, and a system window appeared in front of Meng Feiqiu, which asked if he wanted to give the Order of the Immortal Alliance task to Bu Fengyin. Meng Feiqiu thought that the so-called strange phenomenon was a dungeon caused by the Immortal Alliance Order. But the Xingyu sect should also take part in this. He gave Bu Fengyin a cup of tea and said that she should sit down and drink tea. He should discuss this matter with Miss Jian. He turned to Jian Yanyan and said that frankly, this Immortal Union Order is the key to the secret realm. Now that the secret kingdom is open, he can indicate a place on the map for them. Jian Yanyan said that thanks to the elder, she was able to learn the secret of the Order of the Immortal Union, so she does not dare to single-handedly claim this. By no means, she would like the elder to lead the younger generation. Bu Fengyin thought that as expected from an elder, he always evokes admiration in other people's hearts. But the atmosphere suddenly became so serious that it seemed inappropriate for her to drink tea. Meng Feiqiu said that he was honored to have Miss Jian's trust. The secret kingdom is not far from Shenyumen. Why shouldn't he let Bu Fengyin go with Miss Jian? Bu Fengyin asked with her. Meng Feiqiu confirmed her words and said that Master Zhu and Deacon Ling would look after the sect for now. It was time to go down the mountain to do some training. Jian Yanyan said that then she hopes for the help of the sect leader. Bu Fengyin replied that she was very kind. Meng Feiqiu thought that this way he could keep an eye on them secretly. In case of any special circumstances, he will surprise them with his unexpected appearance. Jian Yanyan thought that the elder seemed to take this lightly, and decided to send sect leader Bu with her. But if she's right, he'll probably protect them from the shadows, so he's really old-fashioned. Bu Fengyin thought that the elder most likely did not care about this secret realm, and obviously he decided to leave this opportunity for her. Perhaps he will follow in the shadows, checking on her progress with the best of intentions. Meng Feiqiu said that the two of them would drink tea for now, and he would go and draw a map. Jian Yanyan and Bu Fengyin sat down at the table and sighed at the same time. Then they brought the cups of tea to their mouths and tasted the tea. They were surprised, and Jian Yanyan thought that this tea actually contained rich spiritual energy. Bu Fengyin thought that immediately after the first sip, the spiritual kai increased and the mind instantly became clearer. So this is what life is like for a former great master. Meanwhile, Master Zhu and the other members of the pavilion were wandering around the sect, and he told them to go there and check that the spell was intact. Yigufeng walked up to him and said that this was indeed Formation Master Zhu. Long time no see. Master Zhu awkwardly bowed to him and thought that he had seen him before, but tried to avoid him. He didn't expect him to turn to him, but he's afraid that he's up to something bad. The chubby man from the pavilion looked at Yigufeng and said that he had heard about him. He has a talent for creating spells. Another pavilion worker said that at a young age, he was recognized by the Array Pavilion and joined the Xingyu sect, so he has a bright future ahead of him. Yigufeng asked Master Zhu, was this mountain protective formation created by him? Zhu Bohong confirmed his words and said that it was created with the support of an elder. Yigufeng thought, is this that demonic beast? And he kept wondering, when such a small sect could have a spell of this level, could he have stolen this formation from somewhere? He said that by participating in the creation of a mid-rank spell formation, Master Zhu must have improved his cultivation. It so happens that they were recently working on a spell, and he was having trouble understanding it, so he would like to seek advice from Master Zhu. Zhu Bohong thought that everything was clear to him. This guy is here to make him look like a fool. He still holds a grudge against him. But if he refuses him, he will only disgrace the Shenyumen sect. Yigufeng began to draw a formation on the ground and said that he thought he was on the right path. But for some reason the spell doesn't work. Can Master Zhu help him? Zhu Bohong thought that what he showed him seemed plausible, but perhaps it was a trap waiting for him. What should he do? He cannot be left in the dust. Suddenly Guan Yu said about the module, and Zhu Bohong thought, module? That's what the elder said. Did she really already understand what needed to be done? He understood. According to the ideas that the elder taught them, in his eyes, the formation can be seen in a completely different way. Yigufeng asked, even Master Zhu can't understand this. Let him forget about it, he will erase the formation. Zhu Bohong told him to wait, he had some immature ideas about this matter. But he doesn't know if he should voice it? At this time, Bu Fengyan and Jian Yanyan began to descend towards them and Meng Feiqiu asked, isn't this formation Master Zhu? What happened there? Yigufeng asked Master Zhu, is he serious? He thought that he had already come to a conclusion about improving this spell, but he had deliberately left it imperfect. 8 new runes and 4 improvements are needed to work, but this Zhu only changed the position of 4, he even erased 1. He said that it was amazing how much clearer Master Zhu's mind had become over the past few years. The spell was cast, and it had no effect. Jian Yanyan and Bu Fengyan came closer, and the pavilion worker told everyone to make way. He approached Master Zhu and said that he had collected the plant ash that he had asked for. Zhu Bohong said that he was just in time. He began to draw a circle, and then put down the brush, and the spell began to work. Yigufeng was surprised and exclaimed, how is this possible? This is better than his improved result. Guan Yu said that's it. Plant ash has fire and earth attributes with a small residual wood attribute. This not only balances the overall properties of the array, but also allows you to save on the cost of materials. She originally thought of moving 5 runes and adding 2 more, but she didn't expect Master Zhu's changes to be more concise than hers. Zhu Bohong arbitrarily smoothed his beard, and Yigufeng thought in shock, who is this girl and why does she know so much about this? Master Zhu laughed and said that this girl, Guan Yu, talks so much when it comes to spells. After her praise, he even became a little proud of himself. Jian Yanyan thought that Yigufeng must have decided to provoke him, but it looks like he learned his lesson. The Shenyuman sect is full of lurking dragons and tigers, they should not underestimate them. She said that Master Yigufeng was still small at heart, so he decided to amuse the elder and the head of the Bu sect. Yigufeng got angry and said that she was the head disciple of the Xingyu sect. How can she say that? Jian Yanyan gave him a threatening look and told him to shut up. Meng Feiqiu was a little surprised and thought that when he played, the main disciple was obviously Yigufeng. Jian Yanyan turned to Meng Feiqiu and said that she had no intention of hiding her identity. She just thinks that for a senior, all these titles are simply useless. Meng Feiqiu replied that there was nothing wrong with that, let them stay and rest for a day, and tomorrow they would hit the road with Bu Fengyan. Time passed, the disciples of the Xingyu sect gathered together, and Yigufeng said that he did not understand her. Why should they worship this demonic beast? Jian Yanyan said that he should keep his mouth shut. She will say only once. The elder is not who he or she can imagine. She abruptly turned away from them and said that she would return to her room and practice. After that, she sat on the bed and began to meditate, thinking that with just 2 cups of tea, the spiritual Kai stored in the Danshan had already reached its upper limit. The divine consciousness seemed to be refined, and concentration and perception greatly increased. Yigufeng looked at the door of her room and asked what happened to her. It was as if she had become a different person. Shi Wenhao replied that who knows. Yigufeng asked what she was thinking about trying to practice in such a place. The spiritual Kai here is so weak, is it even possible to break through in such a place? Suddenly a bright light began to emanate from her room, and Yigufeng looked there in surprise, and Shi Wenhao said that it looks like she really has a breakthrough. As time passed, Jian Yanyang and the rest of the Xingyu sect disciples approached Meng Feiqiu, and she said that she was very grateful to him and his friends for the care they had given them in the past few days. Meng Feiqiu said that she didn't need to be so polite. When they returned from the secret kingdom, why don't they visit him on this mountain and drink tea? She thought that this tea that the elder gave was rich in spiritual energy and was definitely an opportunity that was difficult to find anywhere else. However, she is not that good and needs time to process the previous time. Only a person with such an irreversible level of cultivation as an elder can quench his thirst with this tea at will. If she had been greedy and drank 2 more glasses, she would definitely have been torn apart. She has to go with sect leader Bu. Although she won't be able to absorb as much Kai as she does, she will always guard the elder. Meng Feiqiu told Bu Fengyan that he would not accompany her this time, so let her take care of herself. But if something happens, have her contact him via direct message. Bu Fengyan agreed, and after that she, along with the disciples of the Xingyu sect, flew away on swords and said goodbye to him. After a while at Mount Kiju, someone threw an energy ball at Master Zhang Ju and said that the Liangyan Kiju sects were invincible. How did they even decide to search for a secret kingdom with such abilities? Zhang Ju thought that the secret realm had been opened, but no one knew where it was. A delay of several days attracted more distant practitioners from other sects. A guy from another sect said that they should get lost and not disgrace themselves here. The other guy said that he was from the Wan Giant Hand sect, a 5th grade sect. If he wanted to kill them, it would be as simple as crushing a few ants. Suddenly a monk came out of the forest and told them to listen to him. Is the Wan Giant Hand sect still thinking of taking over the secret realm alone? The guy from this sect told him that let him kill these impudent people and then he will see what he can do. But as for the rest of the insects, if they escape, he does not need to pursue them until they die. The monk said that from his words he could understand that they would be useful. A few more errand guys will help you find the entrance to the secret kingdom, right? The girl whispered to Zhangju that there are more and more competitors, and they are all not very good, so they can retreat. The man said that was all they could do. They headed towards the thick of the forest, and the guy asked where they were going. The man replied that they were not eager to participate in this, so... Suddenly a stream of fire flashed between them, which was released by the monk, and he asked, did he really say that they could leave? Zhangju thought that these guys are playing with their lives as they want. This is too much. Suddenly a guy called out to Brother Tang and told him to go quickly. Brother Tang asked, what's the matter? The guy replied that there were 2 men and 2 women, young students of some school, and they seemed to have a map in their hands. After that, they immediately headed towards them, and the girl asked what they should do now. The man said he wanted to go after them, and even if they can get into the secret kingdom, it will be useful for them to see it from the outside. Meanwhile, Bu Fengyan and the Xingyu sect disciples walked through the forest and looked at the map. Jian Yanyan told Bu Fengyan that the elder said that the ruins of the Immortal Union had become secret realms left behind by the great powers of the past. She wonders what treasures they will find there. Suddenly some rustling noises were heard from all sides, but they did not pay attention to it and moved on. Brother Tang looked out from behind the tree and thought that he didn't expect so many people to instantly react to the appearance of the card. Suddenly he was surprised to see that the monk stood in the way of Jian Yanyang and Bu Fengyan. The monk said that the map is in the hands of these young Taoists. Can he borrow it? They passed him, and the monk froze in shock. Suddenly he turned around and told them to stand still. The disciples of the Xingyu sect looked at him threateningly, and then gave him a couple of slaps. Xu Wenhao suddenly asked the fellow Taoists who had been following them all the way, weren't they tired yet? Brother Tang was surprised and thought, have they already noticed them? Xu Wenhao did not wait for an answer, and said that then he would ask the question differently. Do any of them really want to go against the Xingyu and Shenyuan sect? Brother Tang was surprised and thought, this is the Xingyu sect. This is the famous 3rd-class grid. Why are they here? And what kind of sect is Shenyuan? This sect was named on par with the Xingyu sect, but he had never heard of this sect before. The man and the rest of the Taoists called out to the head of the union and said that her friends were there. Bu Fengyan turned to them and said that fellow Taoists were also here. The man laughed and said that they decided to take a risk, but it didn't work out. The girl turned to the head of the union and Miss Jian and said that she took the liberty of making a request to them. They don't have any plans for the secret kingdom, but could they let them see this kingdom with their own eyes? Jian Yanyan agreed and said that if they wanted, they could go with them. The Taoists thanked them, and then the other Taoists looked out from their hiding places and said that they wanted it too. Ye Gufeng and Xu Wenhao turned around and asked threateningly, what did they just blurt out? The Taoists immediately disappeared behind the trees and asked forgiveness for the disturbance. The Taoists from the friendly sect rejoiced and thought that if it weren't for the leader, they wouldn't have had such a precious opportunity. It's like a dream. Together they continued on their way, while Meng Feiqiu watched them from above. He thought that fortunately Quickie are born with wings, otherwise he would definitely not be able to catch up with the flying sword. Suddenly he noticed some kind of flash in the sky, and thought that this light of truth was a little familiar. After a while, the Taoists finally reached the door of the secret kingdom, and Jian Yanyan said that it was worthy of a map from the elder. They had actually found the secret kingdom. She placed the token on the door and said that next they need to follow the method that the elder taught. After that, the doors opened and a dark corridor appeared in front of them. The Taoist took a closer look and asked, is this the legendary secret kingdom? Suddenly Jian Yanyan noticed something and told everyone to quickly take 10 steps back. From the ominous darkness, someone began to approach them and attacked. At this time, everyone managed to jump away, but Ye Gufeng noticed that Jian Yanyan was too close and called out to her. At that same second, the energy dissolved into thin air and Jian Yanyan remained unharmed. They looked deeper into the corridor, and Ye Gufeng said that it was terrifying Sword Kai. If she hadn't warned them, they would have been dead already. Jian Yanyan said that this Sword Kai is fast and furious. If it were a few days ago, she would probably have died. She thought that thanks to the spiritual tea that the elder gave her, she not only made a breakthrough, but strengthened her spiritual consciousness. She understood. The elder immediately understood that then she was not able to enter the secret kingdom. Although he looked serene, he was actually helping her in secret. She turned away from the entrance to the secret realm and bowed. The Taoists were surprised and thought that if they remembered correctly, then in that direction was the Sheniman sect. Bu Fengyan also bowed in this direction, and the man thought that of course sect leader Bu also bowed in this direction. He asked if he could bow to them too. The girl said that they would just stand next to each other and not get in the way. Meanwhile, other Taoists were watching them and thinking, what the hell are these guys doing? They don't understand them. Brother Tang said that this sword Kai was really powerful, and it was clearly a barrier guarding the secret realm. Could it be that the master of this secret realm is a sword practitioner? Suddenly, a man laughed and said that the sword cultivator's secret realm had been prepared especially for him. Brother Tang called him Elder Luo and said that he was right. The other guy agreed with him, and Brother Tang thought that King Yuanzi was Luo Quan, a sword practitioner without a sect. It was originally practiced for 100 years, but its cultivation progressed slowly. By chance, he managed to acquire 2 swords, King Yuan and Ziyi. Since then, he had surprisingly quickly become a dark horse in the cultivation world. Once upon a time, their sect, Wan Jianhen, invited him to become an elder, but he refused. He didn't expect that this time he would come in search of a secret kingdom. Luo Quan said that the younger generation should not panic so much. By the way, he has some friendly relations with their sect. This time, as a favor to the younger generation, he will show them the way inside. Brother Tang and his friend were happy and asked, "Is this true?" They are grateful to him. Brother Tang thought that even though Luo Quang could not compete head-on with the Xingyu sect, if several people died in the secret realm, no one would know about it. Luo Quan asked, "Have the juniors come in yet?" They need to go and see too. They approached the entrance to the secret realm and were attacked by Sword Kai. Brother Tang was scared and asked, "Does everyone coming in have to face this?" Luo Quan took out his swords and said that he would meet it. He defended himself with his swords, and there was an explosion, and then he smiled and said that was a bit interesting. Meanwhile, Bu Fengyan and the others were already in the depths of the cave. They were defending themselves from attacks, and the girl asked, "Did they notice that the further you go, the more difficult it gets?" The man said that the sword Kai contained in these stalagmites is like fighting a great sword practitioner. They need to stick together, they will succeed. Zhangju said that unfortunately their practice is not so good, they cannot take advantage of this blessing. Suddenly he heard footsteps and asked who was here. Luo Quan approached them along with the rest of the Taoists and said that some of them really had good skills. He pulled out a weapon and asked, "How about we have some fun?" He threw a piece of stalagmite away from him and it headed straight towards Bu Fengyan. She noticed this and managed to parry the blow in time, and then warned Jian Yanyan about the danger. Jian Yanyan noticed a sharp piece of stalagmite in front of her and fought it off, but was still injured. Luo Quang smiled and Jian Yanyan thought that this was the old man trying to use this sword formation to kill them. The man told him to stop. Brother Tang stretched his hand to the side and asked, "How dare such losers bother Elder Luo?" The man said that the head of the union helps them again and again, despite the past. They will not let them get away with it, even if it costs them their lives. Brother Tang and the rest of the sect looked at him in surprise, and then they all laughed together, and he said that only recently they behaved like beaten dogs, and now they are acting so impudently. Do they really think that they will be knee-deep in the sea if they follow the members of the Xingyu sect? Suddenly the man gripped his sword tighter and swung it, piercing Brother Tang's body. Brother Tang was horrified and asked how dare he. The man was afraid of his actions and asked how he did it. He thought that as if it was not he who was controlling the sword just now, suddenly some force pressed on the hilt of his sword, and he could not control it. Other Taoists also began to swing their swords, unable to stop it, and began to kill. They killed several people, and Lo Quan turned around and saw a terrifying aura emanating from them. He got scared and asked what was going on. What a fierce Kai. He wanted to get the second sword, but it was not there, and he asked where his sword was. The girl ran up to Senior Luo, but he threw her aside and told her to get out of the way. He ran to the exit and thought there would only be a few younger ones here. He didn't even know that someone was watching them. He was able to take his sword without him even noticing, which means he is much stronger than him. This time he was very careless. He needs to get away from here quickly. Meng Feiqiu ran his fingers along the blade of his sword and said, "As expected from someone who offends the weak and fears the strong. He runs well." Luo Quan asked who he was. What did he call it? Meng Feiqiu thought, "Those who offend the weak and fear the strong." This is the nickname the players gave him. This person had weak cultivation in his younger years and received many cold glances. Unexpectedly, in his old age, he was very lucky, so his character was distorted. His favorite pastime is to take everything from the weak. Every time he robbed him, he always killed the victim. Luo Quan looked at Meng Feiqiu and asked if it was possible that he was the eldest of the guys who came here recently. Meng Feiqiu confirmed his words and Luo Quan decided to use the amulet of invisibility to escape. But Meng Feiqiu quickly swung his sword and slammed Luo Quan into the wall. He began to slowly approach him and said that after drinking the tea for a few days, his cultivation had actually improved. Luo Quan laughed and said that he couldn't believe that he was able to destroy his shadow entry amulet with one blow. This guy is terrifying. He looked at the red-headed boy who stood next to him and asked where did this child come from. He immediately took him hostage and asked, is this also one of his juniors? He doesn't want him to kill him, does he? Meng Feiqiu did not recognize this boy and Luo Quan asked the boy, is he scared? He better not tremble, otherwise he will get into trouble and his sword will cut his neck. The boy sighed and said that it was not he who was trembling, it was his sword that was trembling. Luo Quan was surprised and asked what was going on. At the same moment, Meng Feiqiu swung his sword and attacked him. After that, he walked up to the boy and said that this was indeed a natural sword body. Even Zi's sword is afraid of him. The boy said that he was the master of this secret kingdom. These two swords of his are very similar to his then style. If he is willing to worship him as a teacher, he can teach him what he has learned in his life. Meng Feiqiu replied that it was a coincidence that he was thinking the same thing. If he is willing to worship him as a teacher, he can teach him what he has learned in his life. The boy looked at him questioningly and Meng Feiqiu asked, well, what does he think about this? A system window appeared in front of him with the characteristics of a boy named Zhao Zingren. His vitality and luck are 4, the foundation of the body and knowledge of nature are 5. He has a passive skill, natural sword body. If he enters the path of a single sword, then all attributes will be multiplied by 2. He has the intoxicating shadow sword stream technique, which is a sword technique created by a sword cultivator in his previous life. Connection is inactive. As time passed, Yi Gufeng looked at the corpses of the dasas, and the man thought that these were the disciples of the Xingyu sect after all. The rest of the guys from the Wan Jianhin sect were easily killed by him. Suddenly someone called out to Yi Gufeng and told him to come here. He turned towards the voice, and the girl said that the head successfully broke through the sword form. This is amazing. She asked the other Taoists in a whisper, don't they think that this elder is secretly helping them? The man replied in a whisper that since the elder did not appear, it meant that he did not want to be found out. Whether they noticed him or not, they don't need to upset the elder. He envies the head. It's hard for him to even imagine how lucky she is. As time passed, Yi Gufeng said that he did not expect that the next 2 levels would be more difficult than the previous ones. He looked at Bu Fengyan and thought that he knows his sister's skill, but this Master Bu is clearly inferior to him. But she has achieved great success along the way. And that man Zhu, how did they even achieve such success? Xu Wenhao noticed something and stopped. In the middle of the room, a huge sword was stuck into the ground, and Zhao Zingren stood on its hilt. He asked who dared to invade his secret kingdom. Jian Yanyan and Bu Fengyan became wary and thought, maybe this is the guardian of the secret kingdom. Zhao Zingren said that since they were able to travel all this way, it means they have certain abilities. And now he will check them personally. After that, he jumped down and a sword appeared in his hand. Then he attacked Jian Yanyan, but she was able to block the blow. Then the blow fell on Bu Fengyan, and then Xu Wenhao was injured. Zhao Zingren stopped, and Jian Yanyan thought that his swordsmanship was exactly the same as the previous level. Bu Fengyan stood up and thought that the strength was several times stronger. The girls thought at once, is this the power of a rare sword cultivator? Zhao Zingren looked at his sword and asked, is this the strength of the elder? The improved sword technique is more than twice as powerful. It looks like he is. Bu Fengyan suddenly interrupted him and asked, did he just talk about the elder? Zhao Zingren realized that he had let it slip and told her not to talk nonsense. Then he fell silent, and the girls looked at him in disbelief. Meanwhile, Meng Feiqiu returned to the residence, and Guan Ling said that he had returned. Meng Feiqiu greeted him and then walked towards the house, and Guan Ling thought that he seemed to be in a good mood. The system reported the task. He assembled 3 out of 4 people into the initial team. Some time ago, Meng Feiqiu told Zhao Zingren that if he studied with him, he would teach him everything he had learned in his life. Zhao Zingren looked at him questioningly, and Meng Feiqiu said that if he did not want to call him teacher, then he could call him elder like everyone else. Zhao Zingren asked what he was even talking about. Does he even know who he is? Meng Feiqiu said that he was Zhao Xingren, who had no special abilities in life, but had a rare natural sword body. After a decade of wandering in his past life, he discovered that sword training was the most suitable path for him. It's a pity that he realized it so late. He had to take a risk and use sword burial in hopes of regaining his life. So he congratulates him. He did it! Zhao Xingren was surprised and asked why he knew so much about this. Meng Feiqiu thought it was because he was the fake character in the game. It was kind of a limited time character gacha. He spent a lot of money on it, but was never able to get it, which is why he almost deleted the game. However, the official announcement did not mention that he was the owner of this secret realm of the Order of Immortals. So he was very surprised when he found it here. He told Zhao Xingren that all he could say was that he was much older than him. And he came here partly to train his juniors and to attract him into his sect. Zhao Xingren asked, is he inviting him to join the sect? And what can they teach him there? Meng Feiqiu asked, why talk in vain? Why don't he show him his sword technique first? Time has passed. Zhao Xingren thanked Meng Feiqiu for his instructions and said that he hoped he would forgive him if he had offended him in any way. Meng Feiqiu replied that what's done is done, don't let him worry about it. After that, he received a system notification that a pre-connection had been detected. Does he want to activate the connection? The system window showed the item for communication, and Meng Feiqiu thought that this is generally difficult sometimes, but sometimes it's easy. In this case, the main quest will be completed as soon as communication with Jian Yanyan is achieved. Zhao Xingren asked, he wants him to go and find the juniors now, and take them straight to. Meng Feiqiu interrupted him and said that he did not agree. They are here to learn, and not to get everything for nothing. As the master of the secret kingdom, he must help him and arrange a good spar for them. Zhao Xingren replied that he understood, the elder had good intentions, he would make their training useful. Currently, Meng Feiqiu was lying on the bed and thought that if Zhao Xingren was there, he didn't need to be there all the time. It will be great if they all get along together. He remembered about the new connection, and a system window appeared in front of him with a description of the connection. His instruction impressed Zhao Xingren. He can then communicate his thoughts directly to each other to achieve communication. Hidden Sword in the Heart. This skill is activated after completing the command, the sword is he, and he is the sword. Meng Feiqiu thought, what's wrong with the last sentence? What did they even mean by this? He looked at the two swords that were standing by the wall and said that he now has two Luo Quan swords. He will keep the green sword for himself, but he needs to decide what to do with the purple one. After that, he visited Deacon Lynn and looked at the destroyed tablet. He wanted to say something, but Lin Gu interrupted him and said that, to be honest, in the old days, their sect was very poor, even though they had a treasure pavilion built, but there was no treasure there. The treasure pavilion was also destroyed during the demon invasion. Due to the complexity of the repair, work has not yet begun. Meng Feiqiu thought that he had really overlooked one important thing. Shenyumin is only a 9th rank sect, and it is located in a place with bad spiritual energy. Those who belong to high-ranking sects have their own resources. Spiritual healing plants, spiritual animals, and springs. Spiritual pills, formations, and weapons. The current Shenyumin sect does not have these advantages. If he wants to be more comfortable here, he must help them speed up their development. It looks like he needs to do something. Sometime later. Meng Feiqiu is sitting on a chair and thinking about something. Zhu Bohong sits next to him and thinks that although he joined the Shenyumin sect, he didn't expect that things were so bad here. The courtyard where Meng Feiqiu lives is at best equivalent to the level of a large sect's outer elder. Lin Gu thinks that this environment is not worthy of him. However, first-class houses cost many gems and can only be built by specialists. Meng Feiqiu wonders if there are any project options that are less dependent on resources and can be profitable. He remembers something and thinks that it is Jian Yan, who completed the task of the Legacy of the Immortal Union. I wonder what the reward will be this time. His face took on a dissatisfied look. Zhu Bohong thinks that the elder looked like he suddenly encountered a problem. Lin Gu wonders if they really angered him with their ingratitude. The system window says that new functions are unlocked. Meng Feiqiu thinks about this new feature. He came up with something and called elders Lin Gu and Zhu Bohong. They both stand up and ask what can they do for him. Meng Feiqiu asks, there are still many unexplored areas around their sect, right? So they need to take a little walk. Sometime later. A group of people led by Bu Fengyin returned to the sect. Wu Gufeng thinks that he did not expect that this Zhao Xingren would join the Shenyumin sect. But at the same time, he thought of giving them all the treasures that were kept in the secret kingdom. These 2 scrolls contained the profound intent of the sword, which even he could not fully comprehend. They will definitely be rewarded for bringing this to the sect. Jian Yang asks, she noticed it, didn't she? Bu Fengyan agrees and says that there are those who are hiding in the distance, watching from the shadows. It's likely that other sects involved in the quest for the secret kingdom have learned something and are trying to figure out what they're up to. Wu Gufeng thinks that there is nothing to blame them for, because ordinary people are always attracted by treasures. The small Shenyuan sect would not be able to hold such a treasure. This monster probably understands that his identity will not be accepted by the outside world. Therefore, he wants to appease their Xingyu sect so that they will support him. Meng Feiqiu tells Bu Fengyan and Zhao Xingren that they are finally back. They look at each other and realize that it was their eldest. He says they should go to Hidden Sword Peak and he will show them something amazing. Zhao Xingren asks telepathically, where is this so-called Hidden Sword Peak? Bu Fengyan says that she doesn't know either. Meng Feiqiu says that Hidden Sword Peak is the peak east of the main sect peak he just named. Bu Fengyan says that, however, Jian Yang and the rest of the sect members are now with them. He says that there is nothing wrong with this, they can invite them with them. Sometime later, they all come to the right place and greet him. Meng Feiqiu says they don't need to follow such formalities. What did they learn while they were on their journey? Bu Fengyan and Jian Yang tell him what he was interested in. Zhangju says that he is ashamed to say this, but he did not have as much strength as the sect master or Miss Jian Yang. He is very sorry that they missed such an opportunity to practice. Meng Feiqiu says there is nothing shameful about it. What if he gives them another chance to return to the secret kingdom? Zhangju asks, is this possible? By the time they left, the secret kingdom had completely disappeared. Meng Feiqiu smiles and points to the side. Everyone turns around and notices a huge passage in the rock. On the stone next to the entrance, it is written, the secret kingdom of the Order of the Immortals is the Cave of the Hidden Sword. There was also a ticket office near the entrance. The system notifies that new functions have been unlocked, the dungeon editor. Zhangju says that the layout of this place is exactly the same as the secret realm. However, this level is too difficult. He fights off the attacks, but a stalagmite flies at him from behind, which pierces his back. This surprised him very much, and he returned to the entrance to the cave. Someone notices that he has returned. Zhangju says that he is really ashamed of his lack of strength. However, the experience was very beneficial for him. Meng Feiqiu says there is nothing wrong with it, he can try next time. In the future, it will be the Shenyuan Sect's Cultural Tourism Area project, a secret hall of real experience. They wonder what kind of cultural tourism is this? What kind of secret room? He doesn't understand anything about it, but it sounds really cool. Meng Feiqiu thinks that the Shenyuan Sect is short of natural resources, and it is difficult to obtain a large amount in a short period of time. Thanks to the new dungeon editor feature, they can copy the secrets of the realm they have previously explored. For other sects, Hidden Sword Peak will be a place for students to train and test. If they buy a ticket, they can use the secret realm. Jian Yang says that the Xingyu sect will be organizing a training course for its disciples next month. Could he return to the clan and discuss the location of the Hidden Sword Cave? Meng Feiqiu says of course she can do it, they can get a 20% discount on group tickets. Zhu Bohong and Ling Gu think that as expected from the elder, their livelihood has already begun to bear fruit. Yigufeng wonders, since this beast created a secret realm, could it be that these two scrolls also? Zhao Xingren asks, is there treasure in the secret kingdom too? Meng Feiqiu says that of course this is not true. He hopes that those who take part will do so solely for the purpose of self-improvement and not bother themselves with unnecessary thoughts. Yigufeng wonders, what kind of nonsense is this? It just doesn't have the ability to copy treasures. That's right, the sword intent of these two scrolls cannot be known by a beast like him. Suddenly a very strong explosion occurs not far from them and Meng Feiqiu asks, what's the matter? Zhu Bohong says that it is believed that an outsider came and accidentally touched the spell protecting the mountain. Bu Fengyan says that it is true that there are many people of unknown origin around who are hiding and minding their own business. Jian Yan says that she will go and shoo them away so that they will no longer interfere. Meng Feiqiu says she doesn't need to do that. He takes human form and says that now that the Shenyuan sect is ready to open business, so there is no reason to drive away customers. In the future, a diverse range of consumers will inevitably emerge. He takes out his sword, and with a very strong attack, he released a strong wave of energy that crashed into the rock. People are surprised, and someone asks, what is this powerful intention of the sword? After that, Meng Feiqiu put his sword back into its sheath. Wu Gufeng thinks that the intention of the Elder's sword is actually left in this sword scar. this sword technique is better than those 2 scrolls. So that means he gave them these scrolls only because he absolutely doesn't need them. Someone says Shen Wuman, who rose from Liangyan Kiju, good conditions for teaching have been created there. Lingu, the elder of the Shenyuman sect. Guan Yu is an assistant teacher of martial formations for students of the Shenyuman sect. Zhu Bohong is the elder of the protective formations of the sect. Some say that this is an excellent teaching staff. This once small rank 9 sect is now developing by leaps and bounds. Zhao Xingren is a freelance sect practitioner. Bu Fengyan is the head of the sect. Jian Yang tells the head that a report on the Shenyuman sect was provided above. The old man says that based on her words, this senior Meng Feiqiu's strength is truly incomprehensible. But he doesn't understand why he went to such a remote place to support a small sect. Jian Yang says that Elder Meng Feiqiu said that he had a long-standing relationship with the Shenyuman sect. Moreover, the sects from there are not able to stop the attacks of demons, so if he leaves them, it will lead to a sad outcome. Another old man asks, how does a mere demonic beast have so much compassion? Maybe he just offended someone very strong, and because of this, he hid there. Jian Yang tells Uncle Lai that no matter what Senior Meng Feiqiu's background is, if he is willing to protect the people on the other side, then they should not speculate. Li asks, where are her manners? Who gave her the courage to tell him what to do when her mother didn't even dare talk to him like that? The head says they shouldn't argue. At least for now, it is beneficial for them to be on good terms with the Shenyuman sect. Jian Yang will lead the disciples' training this time, and the location of this training will be the Hidden Sword Cave. He will write a letter to Senior Meng Feiqiu and prepare gifts for him. She agrees with the master. Some time later, Yigufeng enters Master Lai's room and bows to him. The old man asks what he knows about this demonic beast. Yigufeng says that this beast seems to lust after Jian Yang's beauty, so he only spends time with her alone. But there must be many more precious secrets and treasures in the hands of this demonic beast. Master Lai says he understood him, then he should keep an eye on her. She's the perfect match for him, so he shouldn't let this beast. He remembers something and says that if you look at it from the other side, perhaps this is his chance. He just needs to find a way to get Jian Yang and then stick close to her. Thus, whatever benefit she gets, he gets too. Yigufeng realizes this and says that his master is great. Sometime later, Meng Feiqiu yawns and looks at Guanling and says that this child is really diligent in his practice. Unfortunately, he has average talent and his progress is slowed down due to the demon seed in his body. In other words, he only became the boss of the game thanks to the power of the demon seed. Guanling finishes his training and tells the elder that he will come back after he changes his clothes. Meng Feiqiu agrees and says he can go. This boy really thinks he is his gatekeeper. He should quickly find a way to help him. Jian Yang comes to him and says that she came to visit the elder. She puts 2 chests on the table and Meng Feiqiu asks her what are they. She says that it is a gift from the head for him, along with a letter. He began to feel embarrassed and says that the head of her sect is too kind. Jian Yang says that she also prepared a small gift for him. She hopes he will accept it. Meng Feiqiu is surprised to see this stone and says that it contains a demon seed. Jian Yang says that it is also her mother's relic, and it seems to have strange powers. She doesn't know how to use it, maybe he will find out. Meng Feiqiu thinks he saw this somewhere. By the way, the Xingyu sect in the game seems to have been sealed because of this stone. It was said that this stone interfered with the minds of practitioners and gradually demonized them. However, there was no mention in the game of the origin of this stone or the existence of Jian Yang. Could it be that she was demonized by this stone and then secretly killed by her own sect? The system notifies that an object for communication has been detected. Does he want to make a connection? Meng Feiqiu is surprised when he saw this notification and asks who would have thought. But it is in this crystal that their future fate lies. In the system window, it is written that the future is changing without his knowledge. Level 1, with just words alone, he is freed from a tragic fate. He can now communicate his thoughts directly to each other to achieve instant communication. Demon seed recycling is activated upon receiving the item. It can turn unused seeds into quest points. They sit silently in front of each other for a while. Meng Feiqiu says that in any case, if she needs help in the future, she can just ask him. She can also take these boxes with crystals and use it for herself. Jian Yan thanks him for his kindness and says that then, with that, she bids him farewell. Sometime later, Meng Feiqiu closes the door of the room and laughingly says that unexpectedly, the connection with Jian Yang has been successfully completed. In the system window, it is written that the main quest is epic, to prevent the apocalypse of the world. Brief description: the demons are secretly plotting. He must create his own initial team of 4 to stop the demonic plot. New functions have been unlocked. The task exchange system. He must use the quest points he receives to exchange it for the corresponding treasure chest. Opening 1 treasure chest costs 100 points, and to open 10 chests you need 10,000 points. Mangfakyu says that by opening a treasure chest, you can get various prizes completely by chance. The demon seed in this crystal had just been converted into 2,000 quest points. Surely he should give way to the players, but he himself wants to do this. He laughs and says that he wants to open the chest 10 times in a row. Icons with the items he received appear in front of him. Low-level spiritual stones 500 pieces, low-level medicinal herb 3 pieces, middle-level medicinal herb 1 piece, high-level wave energy book. Mangfakyu is happy that he received a high-level skill book. He says that rightly, as a respected elder, he cannot afford not to have his unique technique. He opens this book, and on the first page it is written, "The Law of Divine Agriculture, Life Skills of Planting." Mangfakyu asks, does it really say planting? He introduces himself as a farmer and says that the concentration of spiritual energy in this area is such that it is impossible to grow anything good. He throws the book away and says it ruined his mood. The remaining task points are not enough for the next 10 chest openings. Guanling comes to his room and Mangfakyu tells him that he should come see him. He agrees with the elder. He enters his room and sees his elder sitting on the bed. Mangfakyu turns to him and says that his is the demon seed, he should give it to him. His actions scared Guanling very much. Sometime later, he took off his shirt and tells the elder that the thing really disappeared. Mangfakyu says that he promised him, of course he will do it. Guanling bows to him and thanks him for his great kindness. Mangfakyu levitates and says that another 2,000 points have been obtained, but this is still not enough. What can you do to get even more task points at the same time? The guy tells Yigufeng that they have booked a banquet at the restaurant tonight, so he should come. He agrees to this and says that this Sheniman sect is so boring that a group of people gather around the demonic beast to bow at its stinking feet. This array pavilion will be much more interesting. There are so many low-level spellcasters here, and everyone is respectful and well-spoken. For this Zhu Bohung, this place is quite suitable. A man comes running to them and says that something bad has happened. Yigufeng asks what all the fuss is about. The guy points behind him and says what's outside. People on the street began to turn into monsters. People who see this ask what's going on here. This is definitely the seed of demons. The 2 refugees with the demon seed in their bodies suddenly became demonized and broke the protection spell. The demonized man attacks the woman and the child, but someone quickly defeats the 2. Yigufeng holds the sword in his hand and smiles at his easy victory. People bow and thank him for helping them. One of the demonized people begins to cry while looking at someone. The little girl cries and calls him daddy. Yigufeng asks why there are so many refugees gathered in the city. People say that many villages and towns are unable to defend themselves from the recent demon attack. They are the safest place in the area thanks to the array pavilion. These refugees came into contact with demons, and some of them carried the demon's seed with them. Originally, they wanted to use an array to isolate them, but now that doesn't seem to work at all. Suddenly, someone throws a lump of earth, which hits the girl, whose father has turned into a demon. People say loudly that they should kick them out. These people are too dangerous to stay in the city. They must leave here immediately. If this continues, there will be great discord. Yigufeng smiles and says that they don't have to worry. Why doesn't he help the refugees and find a great place for them? Sometime later. Jianyang tells him that his action was too hasty. How could so many refugees be brought in without Sheniman's consent? Yigufeng apologizes and says these are special circumstances. But he doesn't think the elder will stand by and do nothing, given his abilities. He thinks that he deliberately told her everything after he brought these people in first. If Sheniman refuses to accept these people, they will be subjected to great contempt from the whole world. If his sect agreed to accept them, then the potential demon seeds would cause them a lot of problems. They turn around from the refugees and bow to the elder. Mangfakyu is very tired and breathing heavily. He asks, where are the demon seeds now? Yigufeng smiles viciously and thinks that this demonic beast seems to have been scared to death. He is greatly surprised by what he sees. Mangfakyu smiles and says that he will accept all the demon seeds. Sometime later, the girl from the cult says that they should line up in line and register here. Jianyang looks at the refugees and says that as expected from the elder, he accepted these refugees without any problems. Yigufeng says that those refugees with demon seeds were seen by that demonic beast, and they still haven't returned. Could it be that the beast is deliberately avoiding them and doing some things behind the scenes? Jianyang says he shouldn't say that. How dare he disrespect a great man like him? She turns away from him and starts to walk away. Yigufeng is very angry that she is scolding him for this demonic beast. A woman approaches him and tells the great immortal that he has to say. Recently, she and her daughter were brought here by this immortal. Can she find out where her daughter went? Yigufeng quietly asks, how can he know this? She can ask this demonic beast. The woman is surprised and asks, did he say demonic beast? She was afraid of what could happen to her daughter. Yigufeng brushes her off and says that she should go away and leave him alone. The woman calls upon this great immortal to help her. He left the woman at the entrance to the sect, who began to cry. Suddenly, her daughter runs towards her with a joyful look. The woman was very surprised when she saw her daughter. They hug and are happy to meet. The woman asks, is she okay? She's fine. The girl tells her mother that she is fine. The elder on the mountain helped them get rid of the demon seed. The woman is surprised by this and asks if he got rid of the demon seed. The girl agrees and says that from now on they are now like normal people. After this, the woman fell to her knees and bowed. Some time later, Meng Feiqiu says that the 14 refugees had 14 demon seeds, but unfortunately their demon seeds are not as good as Guanling's. He only received 1,000 points for each of these seeds. But at least he has enough for 24 discoveries. He opens 10 chests and icons with the items he received appear in front of him. Low-level spiritual stones, 400 pieces. Low-level medicinal herb, 2 pieces. Low-level spiritual materials, 3 pieces. Mid-level medicinal herb. Meng Feiqiu asks, did he only get 1 purple item? It can't all be that bad. He doesn't believe it and opens 10 more chests. He received 6 green objects, 3 blue ones, and 1 purple one. The system notifies that he has received the achievement The Fierce Will of Heaven and has unlocked the rewards. Random book of high skill level. Meng Feiqiu is depressed about what happened and says that even the style of the picture is different from others. He hopes there won't be another herb growing skill. He opens the book and it says that this is the secret technique of the heavenly bodies, the cultivation technique of the immortal class. Meng Feiqiu is surprised by this and says that this is an immortal cultivation method. He finally owns decent equipment. Sometime later, he sits in a room with the rest of the people from his sect. Meng Feiqiu says that he hopes that no one minds because he invited them all here. The thing is that he recently found time to write a couple of books and would like to show it to them. This law of divine agriculture is dedicated to the cultivation of spiritual plants, which Guanling has already begun to study. The second book is the secret technique of the celestial bodies, which is a cultivation technique, and several of them can take it and read it. Lin Gu thinks that he talks about these techniques so calmly, but the secrets that the elder wrote cannot be face-to-face techniques. It's a pity that there is no suitable place for cultivation in the vicinity of Shenemen, and he is afraid that he will not be able to be useful. Meng Feiqiu calls the elder. He asks the elder if he has any instructions for him. He asks, his lifetime is coming to an end because his cultivation has reached a dead end, right? Lin Gu says that he is ashamed to say that his cultivation is mediocre. He would like to see their sect flourish, but unfortunately, he will not have such an opportunity. People were a little upset by the elder's words. Meng Feiqiu says it's okay. This immortal class technique relies on the power of the sun, moon, and stars to cultivate. If he trains hard enough, he can overcome this impasse. Ling Gu and Zhu Bohong are surprised by this and wonder, did he say immortal class? Such an advanced technique could only be found in first and second class sects. Meng Feiqiu thinks that as a system, there is no point for him to practice it on his own. As soon as his character begins training, this technique will be automatically added to the editor. He says that next, they need to talk about other things. Regarding the search for a new order of the Union of Immortals. After 5 days, a woman and her daughter enter a small house that is in poor condition. A girl from the sect approaches them and says that this is the village of Songqin. When there was an invasion of demons, all the residents ran away. From now on, they will all live here. The girl asks the girl if she can tell if the demons can come back here again. The girl strokes her head and says that she doesn't have to worry. Students will be on duty here so that if something happens, they can protect them. There is also a protective spell cast around the village. Jianyang goes with the girl and picks berries from a bush. Yigufeng asks why is she here. Everyone has completed the test and is ready to return to the sect. She says they can go. She will stay here for a while. He grabs her hand and says that she is the head disciple of the Xingyu sect. How can she behave like ordinary mortals doing such dirty things? Jian Yang breaks free from his grip and says that in the eyes of Senior Meng Feiqiu, there is no difference between immortals and mortals. Since the people of the Shenimen sect can do it, then she can do it too. Yigufeng is angry and thinks she constantly talks about him and the Shenimen sect. Is it possible that the demonic beast brainwashed her? Guan Yu approaches her and asks if she could do her a favor. Jian Yan goes after her and says that of course she will help. Yigufeng wonders how she, a simple formation master, dares to address her like this. He uses his magical energy and creates a magic circle. Guan Yu has a strange feeling. She looks down and notices a magic circle that has appeared under her feet. She asks, where is this spell coming from here? Yigufeng smiles evilly and thinks that she should go to hell. Guan Yu raises his leg as the circle beneath her radiates magical energy. She moves her foot around this circle and deactivates it. Yigufeng is very shocked by what just happened. Jian Yang asks her if she is okay. Guan Yu says that luckily she was able to erase the rune at the key connection point and interrupt the spell. She doesn't know who set the spell here, it's too dangerous. Jian Yan gets very angry and turns to Yigufeng. She goes to him and he begins to worry very much about this. She approaches him and tells him that he must leave immediately. She will ask the sect to prohibit him from ever setting foot in the Shenimen sect's territory again. Yigufeng is embarrassed by this and wants to tell her something. Jian Yan has no intention of listening to him. She silently turned away from him and left. He gets very angry and says that this sect is just a hole. He leaves and says that she will see, he will make sure that she treats him with honor. Having taken a step, he notices that a magic circle has appeared under his feet. He is surprised by this and asks where this spell comes from here. After that, he is hit very strongly with electrical energy. Meng Feiqiu says that this is a simplified version of the 9 transformations of the Yuan Lei formation. Did he understand it? Zhu Boheng says that he understood it. He says it looks like on-site hands-on training is still needed. Zhu Boheng sees Yigufeng after being struck by lightning and laughs at him. He asks, how dare this man, who doesn't know what is good for him, try to deceive Miss Guan Yu? With such an elder, they don't need to fear being hurt in the future. Meng Feiqiu asks, have the tasks he mentioned already been published? Zhu Boheng agrees and says that Elder Linggu has appointed a reward for anyone who can give a tip to the Order of the Immortal Alliance. A girl from the sect approaches them and tells them that this girl Xiao said she had a token that could be what they are looking for. She holds a small sign in her hands and says that she picked this up on the road. She thought that in return she would get some food and kept it for herself. Meng Feiqiu pats her on the head and says that this is really the Order of the Immortal Union, she's doing great. The sect girl and Zhu Boheng think it's no surprise that the elder accepted the refugees without hesitation, so it was a prescient move that the elder foresaw. A system window appears in which it says, does he want to issue the Snowbone Mountain task? Meng Feiqiu thinks that he finally has something to do again, and when he has time, he will definitely talk about it. He will have to go after them to make a copy of the dungeon. He asks Xiao what reward she wants to get. The girl says that her mother is not feeling well and she would like to ask for medicine for her. She also wants to find her father's bones and bury them. Everyone was very surprised by what she said and looked at her in surprise. Xiao clutches his clothes and says that it doesn't seem possible. Meng Feiqiu puts his hand on her shoulder and says that he promises to do what she wants. He looks at the window of the system and thinks that he remembers the Snowbone Mountains in which the leader was a small demon fox. Upon completion of the level, you will be given a female amulet, as well as a secret book. So this time he will take 3 girls with him. Lin Gu thinks that the elder's room is too small, and they should quickly change it for him. Meng Feiqiu says that before he leaves, he wants to hear an answer from each of them. Have they gained anything from the practice over the past few days? Bifengyan apologizes for the slow progress, and says that she will work harder in the future. Meng Feiqiu thinks that her talent is only revealed through practice and only when she fights. Zhao Xingren apologizes and says that he is not yet sure that he understands how to do this. Meng Feiqiu thinks he has a special talent that is slow in everything except swordsmanship. Guan Yu says she is very sorry. He slaps his hand in the face and thinks that at least they're trying. Ling Gu and Zhu Boheng think that it is obvious that he feels that his cultivation level has increased significantly. But why are these young talents so modest? What should they do? They sank into deep self-doubt. They wonder if they can claim to be able to do what even a young leader cannot do. Maybe this is not the result at all. Maybe they just think it all. Do they still need to answer the elder's question? Meng Fei turns to them and asks the elders, is something bothering them? Lin Gu says that the elder's mind is truly incomprehensible, and he is still trying to understand it. Zhu Bohong says he is right, they are trying to understand. Meng Fei says that they don't need to be nervous, he's just asking without any intention. Lin Gu thinks that he should quickly take a sip of tea to calm down. Zhu Bohong thinks that it seems their turn has come. They felt a strong energy when they took a sip of the tea, and their bodies were filled with strong energy. Bi Fengyan notices this and says that this is a sign that they will break through very soon. Meng Fei thinks that by practicing the secret technique of the celestial bodies for several days in a row, they have eased their stagnation. Now that tea has been used as an aid, a breakthrough has been achieved. This seems to him to be the most effective way to practice high-level techniques. Jian Yang thinks that in the Shenimen sect, a breakthrough is as simple as eating and drinking. Yigufeng should not do more stupid things. At the same moment, he sneezes very loudly. The guy sitting next to him asks if he's okay. How can they help him? Yigufeng says that they should not be afraid of what he will say. The guy says that the Supreme Union is the Cultivator Union, they have nothing to fear, so he can continue. Some time later, Meng Fei comes out of the building and thinks that the elders have made a breakthrough, so now they are ready. Guanling runs to him and tells the elder that he has made a big discovery. Meng Fei is surprised by this and asks what kind of discovery is this. He says that if you mix spirit animal dung with soil and pour magic on it, within 10 years it will turn into spirit male. They just need to find spirit animals. He looks at Meng Fei and remembers that the demonic beast is a type of spirit animal. He thinks that after spending so much time with the elder, he has actually forgotten about the elder's real body. Meng Fei says he's doing great. He needs to continue reading the book like this. He will go and try to get some spirit animals for him. Guanling bowed and said that he was very grateful to him. Meng Fei thinks that no one would have thought that he could scare this dungeon boss. As for the spirit animals, they can be looked for on the mountain of snowy bones. Sometime later, somewhere in the snowy mountains, a little fox runs through the snow and holds a small piece of paper in its mouth. An ominous magical energy appears behind this fox. Meng Fei says that this snow mountain is a harsh environment and is also infested with many demonic beasts. They will have to use their abilities to overcome difficulties and pass through trials. They walk together along a thin path. Bu Fengyan thinks that the elder was right. Jian Yang thinks that this mountain wind is so strong and cold that he has to use whole-body cultivation to combat it. Guan Yu thinks it's good that he told her, and she cast a few spells on the clothes in advance. And also the magic array is used up too quickly, and she has to stop and restore it from time to time. Meng Fei thinks it's strange, it's not really like a game. Bu Fengyan points his finger and tells the elder that there is a cave ahead. He says that then they can go there and rest for a while. He thinks that according to the game settings, from the moment someone climbs the mountain, demonic monsters will attack intruders from time to time. The journey was surprisingly calm. They enter the cave and see two monsters with their backs turned to them. Meng Fei says that these monsters have also been demonized. The monsters turn to them and begin to run towards them. Bu Fengyan runs towards them, taking out his sword. She puts her sword in front of her to protect herself from the attack of the monster that runs towards her. The monster strikes her sword with its paw. Meng Fei wonders, these demonic beasts are not weak. What happened to the Snowbone Mountain? He notices a piece of ice in the middle of the cave. He flies there while Bu Fengyan fights the monster. He looks behind a block of ice and finds a fox there with a piece of paper in his mouth. He asks, is this a demonic beast? Really already dead? Meng Fei touches the fox's head and says that he seems to be still warm, maybe he can be saved. Bu Fengyan strikes with his sword and cuts off the head of this monster. She hits another monster on the head of another monster and defeats him. She stabs the sword into the ground and tells the elder that she killed the monsters that were bothering them. Sometime later, they all sit together next to the fox lying on the ground. Bu Fengyan begins to emit energy that surrounds her entire body. Meng Fei notices this and realizes that this is her breakthrough. As expected from the protagonist specimen, her cultivation speed is astounding. The fox lying next to them began to move and opened its eyes. The fox gets up and asks who they are. Meng Fei turns around and says that he has finally woken up. The fox looks around and wonders where is the thing he had. Meng Fei takes out a piece of paper and asks, this is what he is looking for, right? Can he tell what happened on Snowbone Mountain? The fox says that General Bear, who was in the territory of the Snow Dragon Valley, went over to the side of the demons. They led their troops to the mountain and tried to usurp the throne and seize power. The young lady escaped from the main hall through a secret passage, accompanied by her soldiers. The bear tells the general that they fled in a great hurry, and they did not have time to take that thing. The general says that he understood him. They must search the entire mountain. Bio's fragments must belong to him. The old fox says that Bio's fragment is an ancient secret of their monster clan, kept by previous monster masters. In any case, it must not fall into the hands of demons. He has 5 pages of Bilot's fragment here. Only one of these pages is true, and he gives it to them. Whoever receives the counterfeit must try to divert the attention of the rebels. Whoever received the present will have to deliver it to the young lady, even at the cost of his life. Mangfakyu asks if he doesn't want to talk about it. The fox says that he wants to go down the mountain. Someone at the entrance to the cave says that there is someone in this cave. Mangfakyu says that it doesn't seem like he can do it that easily. The fox looks at him and thinks that he is also an animal. These 3 people are cultivators, and they seem to be very strong. Why did they go after this beast? Mangfakyu asks what he is holding in his paws is the Bio fragment, right? The fox is surprised at his knowledge and asks how he knows. Mangfakyu says that, however, what he sees now is fake. In the system window, it is written that the editor is a technician, a fake of the Bilot fragment. At the same time, the old fox approaches a large ice rock. He takes out a fragment and reads a spell in an unknown language. Because of this, magical energy appears near the wall, and a secret passage appears in the mountain. He moves on with a calm face. Someone asks, did Elder King really want to get the great secret of the monster race just for himself? The fox turns around and asks who is there. He notices General Bear. Unexpectedly strong magical energy hits Elder King's back. This attack pushes him into the wall. General Bear asks, the inner core of the ancient monster ancestor is in this cave, isn't it? If you get this, you can get the bloodline of ancient monsters by refining it according to Bio's fragment. Elder King asks how he knows. The general says that he is treacherous and cunning, so he immediately sent someone to keep an eye on him. He is grateful to him for opening this door for him. At the same time, the fox says twice that Elder King lied to him. Because of this, he was very upset. Mangfakyu notices this and thinks that it seems like it was a big shock for him to learn the truth. However, in the game's original script, the culprit behind the trouble was the same elder he mentioned. The only difference is that there were no demonized beasts to rebel. They come to the bears and one of them asks, what are people doing here? Elder King reaches out to them, shaking in pain, and asks them to help him. The bear says they must kill them. Mangfakyu says they can play with them a little, but they should save their strength. The girls agree and use their magical powers to fight against these demonized bears. The little fox approaches Elder King with tears in his eyes. The elder says it is too late. He needs to get him out of here quickly. Mangfakyu flies up to him and says that he won't go anywhere. From the moment he began to trade in duplicity, he has no right to leave. Elder King asks Kianki where this demonic beast came from. Suddenly, a very strong magical energy flies out of the cave. The elder notices this and is surprised by this enormous power. He says that General Bear certainly succeeded. Mangfakyu says he doesn't think so. The energy from the cave begins to dissipate. The bear notices this and says that he is coming. Elder King is surprised at what is happening. Bu Fengyan asks what is going on here. Suddenly, a very strong explosion occurs and a bear flies out of there, flies a long distance and crashes into a wall. After the bear, some animal on 4 legs runs, which spits out the hand of the General Bear, who at this time is screaming in pain. The monster says it tastes very nasty. Elder King is surprised to see it and says that it is Tao Yuan's ferocious beast. Mangfakyu says that the so-called inner core of the ancient monster ancestor is actually the sealed Tao Yuan. All of their previous monster lords should know that the risk of refining a monster core is extremely high. Elder King says that he heard the monster lord say this, but they didn't think it was true. Mangfakyu says that according to the game's plot, he was the one who activated it. Just this unlucky bear who played the role of scapegoat for him. The bear says that they must avenge the general. The rest of the bears run away and say that they must run away from here, the general is dead, and they are not his rivals. Tao Yuan stands in front of this bear and the eye on his stomach looks at him. The bear was very frightened and asks to wait a minute, he can explain everything. Mangfakyu says that this is the final boss of the Snowbone Mountainside quest. Tao Yuan looks around and asks, I wonder where this familiar smell comes from. So this is Kianki's child. The fox grabs the elder and asks if it is possible that they both are in cahoots. Elder King says it hurts and he shouldn't push it. Tao Yuan laughs and says that he wants to eat it. It definitely tastes better than them. Meng Feiqiu orders him to be killed. The girls immediately surround him. Tao Yuan throws punches and deflects their attacks. Bu Fengyan thinks that this enemy is even stronger than Zhao Xingren. She is afraid that the three of them will have to go through a difficult battle. Tao Yuan asks, so he was really able to get human practitioners to work for him. He underestimated him. Is it possible that he has some kind of mind spell? Meng Feiqiu asks, are there still snow crystal pearls on this mountain? Qianqi turns to him and says that it is still there. He asks him to find 3 pieces for him. Tao Yuan says he shouldn't be such an arrogant idiot. Then first he will kill his team. Is she carrying an inferior heavy sword? He addressed Bu Fengyan, who is standing in front of the teen. He is about to attack her and asks how dare she stand in front. She blocks his attack with her paw. Tao Yuan is surprised and wonders what happened. This woman actually created a strange aura to deflect his attack right before making contact. Meng Feiqiu says that this heavy sword is not considered a magic weapon. But because of this, she has to deftly manage her stances and Kai to reduce the unnecessary loss of the heavy sword. This is difficult for ordinary practitioners to do. However, these qualities gave Bu Fengyan a high level of reflexes and understanding of Kai. Tao Yuan continues to attack and says that it is just a little insect trick. He notices the energy that is approaching him from the side. Jian Yang uses the skill and fires multiple projectiles made from energy. Meng Feiqiu says that she is the strongest of the 3, but due to the infighting in her sect, she was unable to concentrate on her practice properly. But after she came to the Shenyuan sect, progress became rapid. Tao Yuan runs up to her very quickly and says that it is useless anyway. He is surprised to notice the magical energy that appeared between him and Jian Yan. He is surprised and asks, is this a magic array? Meng Feiqiu says that Guan Yu seems to have started last, but she has great talent for spells. She can treat the entire battlefield as a magical array and provide the right support at the right time. Tao Yuan destroys the magic array and says that they are insects. They dared to anger him, a ferocious beast. Meng Feiqiu says that he has been sealed for so long that his powers are not what they used to be. The 3 of them will have to work hard, but they will definitely win. Sometime later. Some say that a new testing hall has appeared in the Shenyuan sect, but the location of this sect is too remote. Do they really need to come here? The other guy says that anyway, Xingyu sect is one of the allies of the Supreme Alliance. Since they came with this report, they cannot lose face. The guy asks, has he already figured out what they will do with Shenyuan? The guy smiles and says that of course they will have to hand over the beast, but if they do not want to do this, then they will be counted among the demons, and all the righteous in the world will subject them to spells. They both approach the sect gate. The guy standing at the gate asks if he can find out what their visit to this sect is about. The guy shows the sign and says that they are ambassadors of the Supreme Union and have come to investigate some issues. The guards are surprised that they are from the Union. The guy bows and says that he will immediately announce their arrival. The other guy says they should follow him inside. Sometime later. Elders Ling Gu and Zhu Bohong say their names and say that they welcome the 2 ambassadors. The guy asks why the elders are meeting them. Where is their head? Ling Gu apologizes and says that the head left for training and has not returned yet. Zhu Bohong thinks that judging by the tone of their voices, it seems that these 2 came here to make trouble. The guy moves on and says they'll forget about it, they'll just go inside and talk a little. After a while, they walked inside and sat down next to each other. The guy spits out the tea and asks what kind of bad tea is this. Another guy asks, where can good tea come from such a small sect on the outskirts of Lynn? He's afraid that they haven't had a single decent cup of tea in their entire lives, isn't he? Ling Gu and Zhu Bohong glanced at each other. The guy says that in short, they received reliable information that a demonic monster is hiding in their Shenyuan sect. Ling Gu and Zhu Bohong simultaneously say that this is not true. The guy says they should think about it more. He will remind you that he is called Elder Meng Feiqiu, and his original form is the young beast Qianqi. Ling Gu says that this is the elder who is respected by everyone in this sect. I wonder what their purpose for the visit is. The guy asks, in other words, do they admit that there is such a beast in Shenyuan? Then they must hand it over to them so that they can return it to the higher union for disposal. Ling Gu says that he doesn't know where they both got their information from, but there may have been a misunderstanding. Senior Meng Feiqiu acts openly and honestly, helping students and people fight the demons and stabilize the situation. The guy hits the table with his palm and asks how they dare justify the demonic beast. Are they really possessed themselves? They should stop this and give them the demonic beast. Lin Gu asks what will happen if they don't. The guy says that then they will also be considered demons who worship the demonic beast, intending to plague this world, and from now on they will be punished. This news shocks both sect elders. Another guy says that the highest union is the union of the righteous of the world. They don't think that a simple 9th rank clan can be the enemy of the righteousness of the whole world. Will they hand over the magical beast to them or not? At the same time, Bu Fengyin, Jian Yang, and Guang Yu were tired due to this battle. Tao Yuan was also tired during this fight. Qianqi asks, how is this possible? These 3 young cultivators actually defeat the demonic beast. Meng Feiqiu thinks about something and looks at the body of the bear general, which lies not far from him. Suddenly, a circle of magical energy appears around the girls. Tao Yuan is surprised by this and asks, what is this? Is this really a demonic spell? In the system window, it is written that the main quest is epic. It must prevent the apocalypse of the world. The second phase, a brief description, to cause the apocalypse, the demons secretly hatched a conspiracy. He must gather information about the devil's plans, 0 out of 4, and find out their true intentions. Tao Yuan asks if these are his games too. Meng Feiqiu asks, can't he see that he is also trapped? This greatly surprises him. Someone laughs and says that they really caught 2 birds with 1 stone. He wanted to use the general's bear to lure out 1 demonic beast, but he didn't expect to find another one. Meng Feiqiu notices a few people and asks, are these guys also demons? He doesn't think he's seen them before when he played the game. Tao Yuan asks what game is he talking about. Meng Feiqiu coughed and said that he should not pay attention to the details. Bu Fengyin mentally says that she feels like she has seen them before. He asks what does she mean. She says that she doesn't know if it's the same person, but there was a guy dressed like that on the hill earlier. But he disappeared so quickly that she thought she had imagined it. Meng Feiqiu asks when did this happen. Bu Fengyin says that she will think about it now. It was the night before she first met him. The next morning, Elder Feng said that he had caught a spirit beast and explained that they should keep a close eye on it. Meng Feiqiu thinks that he has always wondered how this elder was able to catch Qianqi's child with his cultivation level. Now it seems that perhaps he, like General Bear, was used by demons. The demon says that his goal is to catch 2 demonic beasts. If the others surrendered, he could spare their lives. He notices something that he sees. Guan Yu says that she can try to remove this spell. The demon asks why they are standing. They should shut down the network now. Tao Yuan hits the barrier and says that a mere demon will not get away with this. Suddenly, magical energy covers his entire body. He says he can't get rid of it. Many magical ropes wrap around the girls' bodies. The demon laughs and says that even such a ferocious beast has been caught. Does he still want to go against the demons? Tao Yuan thinks that means this group of demons are afraid of his power. So they waited until they wore each other down so they could catch them all. It was all this child Qianqi's fault if it weren't for him. He notices a human silhouette in the middle of the smoke. Meng Feiqiu emerges from the smoke in his human form and with a sword in his hand. Tao Yuan wonders if he really used the transformation skill. The girls were delighted when they saw him in human form. He wonders why they don't panic at all. Meng Feiqiu says they did well in their tests. He will take care of the rest himself. The system notifies you that spell analysis is starting. He goes on the attack and says that the weak points have been found. He strikes with his sword and destroys the barrier that was built around them. The demon says they must stop him. The 2 demons were shocked by what they saw in front of them. Meng Feiqiu strikes twice and defeats these demons. The main demon says that they can't even stop him. Meng Feiqiu jumps up, about to attack him, but he says something in an unknown language. Bu Fengyin asks, what is this demon talking about? Jian Yan says that she doesn't understand, it's probably their language. Meng Feiqiu thinks that he can really understand him. Is it really because he is a system? The demon says in his own language that they can't stand it anymore, they must help him. He expects direct communication, it's urgent. Meng Feiqiu runs, raising his sword. A very strong surge of energy appears around the demon and it throws him away, but he was able to land on his feet. The demon that appeared asks, is this the enemy he needs to deal with himself? He would forget about it. Since he had caught the 2 demonic beasts, he would spare him this time. Meng Feiqiu asks, who is he? It looks like some kind of summoning spell. The summoned demon says that he is one of the 9 emperors of the demon race, Lai Ba. What he sees now is only part of his image. Meng Feiqiu asks why he is capturing demonic beasts. Lai Ba tells this little demonic beast that he will know about it later. Meng Feiqiu says that then he will ask it again later. He begins to run towards the demons, holding his sword in his hand. Lai Ba says that he overestimates his strength. Meng Feiqiu pierces the hand of the demon who summoned him with his sword, and this wound is reflected on him. They stand in this position for some time. Lai Ba screams loudly in pain and asks how he managed to hurt him. Meng Feiqiu says that he originally didn't intend to use the first sword, but even he didn't know that it would suddenly appear like this. Perhaps this caused him to misjudge his powers. Lai Bei thinks that this guy's strength is strange, and he was actually able to hurt his own body. Meng Feiqiu says that then he will ask the question again. What is its purpose? Lai Ba summons several swords that float around him and tells him not to get too carried away. He launches these multiple swords at high speed. Meng Feiqiu places 2 fingers on the sword, and a magic circle of fiery magical energy is created behind his back. Bu Fengyan says that this is Master Zhao Xingren's sword technique, but it includes the power of the secret celestial body technique. Tao Yuan asks where they have so much positivity to explain anything else. Jian Yan says that she understands everything now. Guan Yu says that she is still too far away from this. Tao Yuan tells them that they are really too friendly. Very strong magical energy begins to fly out of the magic circle. This attack greatly surprises Lai Ba. Meng Feiqiu says that he might even die from this blow. However, the task has still not changed. Shouldn't he already say something? Lai Ba says this is impossible. How can he lose to the scum of the human world? His energy and eye color have changed to red, and he says that this is absolutely impossible. The demon who summoned him experiences severe pain and clutches his head. Meng Feiqiu asks, what is this guy up to? Lai Ba casts a spell in his language, create my body with your flesh and blood. With your soul, open the way for me. Tao Yuan begins to scream in pain after this spell. His eyes began to emit a red glow. Lai Ba's body becomes transparent, but red energy collects in his body. Suddenly, someone's body is torn into pieces. A large magical funnel appears above the dome. Lai Ba's body appears from this funnel. Meng Feiqiu uses a magic circle and releases streams of his energy. Lai Ba strikes with the sword and develops its flow of energy. Jian Yang thinks that the Elder's attack was blocked. Lai Ba says that as he thought, an unprepared descent can only achieve this. He feels at least half weaker than he actually is. Bu Fengyan asks, are demons really that powerful? Meng Feiqiu releases his energy, which hits his opponent's face. He says they don't have to worry because he's here. Lai Ba wonders how he was able to hit him. Meng Feiqiu thinks that he is surprised that he did not die after receiving a sword blow from him. It seems that this guy cannot appear directly in the human world. So, the demonic beast is perhaps some kind of necessary means of transportation in the human world. In the system window, it is written that he has collected one of 4 information about the devil's plans. Meng Feiqiu realized that he had to analyze the information himself. Unexpectedly at that moment, Lai Ba flew up to him, which greatly surprised him. Meng Feiqiu jumped back and began to gather energy in his sword. Jian Yang says that this level of battle is beyond that of most top-notch masters. Lai Ba says many times that he does not believe what is happening. Unexpectedly, the barrier he created begins to collapse. Tao Yuan begins to break out of this barrier. Lai Ba thinks that he was too busy fighting and forgot to control the spell. He turns around and notices a stream of energy that is approaching him very quickly. After this attack, there is a very strong explosion. Bu Fengyan says the spell is not working. Jian Yang asks, is the demon dead? Meng Feiqiu says that's not true, he ran away. Immediately afterwards in the demon world, Lai Ba in his real body begins to cough up blood. He asks where in the human world there could be such a creature. Meng Feiqiu says that suddenly the storyline began to change. Could it be that this is due to his interference, or are there other reasons? Tao Yuan asks, what is this thing? They notice a large demon seed on his body. He asks, what is demon seed? Jian Yang says, this is a sign of demonic infestation. It can cause demonization. Tao Yuan raises his hand and says that he is not going to let this happen. He throws a punch with his hand and is about to hit the place with the demon seed. Meng Feiqiu blocks his blow and says that he should not touch the demon seed. He will deal with it himself. Sometime later, he laughs and says that the reward for such a large seed is simply off the charts. Tao Yuan says that he could not even think that he would save him. However, he is afraid that he does not have long to live. The girl must approach him. Bu Fengyan is surprised and asks, is he telling her? Tao Yuan says that he believes that this sword of hers will soon be destroyed. He's going to die soon anyway, so why not give him a last gift? He concentrates his energy and uses a very powerful spell and releases a large amount of energy. After that, Bu Fengyan's sword changed, becoming similar to him. Jian Yang says it's amazing the beast turned into a sword. At least he should have a heavenly rank. Meng Fekyu crosses his arms and says that this is an earth rank. However, this sword can be upgraded by consuming other treasures. In the system window, it is written that the name of the sword is Tao Yuan, the rank is earthly, the ability of devouring other treasures can increase one's own rank. Jian Yang says that's even better. Perhaps in the future this sword could even enter the top 3 grades. Meng Fekyu asks, he can hear him, right? The girls are very surprised by what he said. They stand motionless for a while and wait for a reaction. Tao Yuan asks how he was able to determine this. Bu Fengyan says that not only can he hear, but he can also talk. A note is written in the system window. The real body is Tao Yuan, which has an independent consciousness and can turn against the user. Meng Fekyu says that since he wants to become a sword, then so be it. However, he must keep his desires to himself. Tao Yuan is afraid of him and agrees to this. After that, the inscription in the system window changed from can turn against the user to has a connection with the user's consciousness. Meng Fekyu looks around and asks if the fox has escaped. Looks like he'll have to do the searching on his own. Suddenly, he hears a voice calling him and realizes that it is Zhao Zingren. He asks what happened. He tells the elder that Elder Zhu Bohong was attacked by the Supreme Alliance. Meng Fekyu asks, isn't the Supreme Alliance the alliance of righteous cultivators? Why would they attack an elder? Zhao Zingren says that they said that they were following the path of demons. At the same time, Zhu Bohong stands in the middle of the forest and maintains a protective formation, surrounding himself with a magical barrier. Someone attacks him with magic spells, and this greatly stresses him out. The man who attacked him says that he is like a turtle in his shell. Even after so many attempts, they still cannot break it. The other guy says that he collected the demon's ashes using a formation. He must be up to something. Otherwise, he would have given up long ago due to the fact that they surrounded him. Shenyuman really went the way of the demons. They may not even dream that they will be able to achieve their goal. Zhu Bohong remembers that Xiao said that she wanted them to return her father's bones for burial. He told Meng Fekyu that since he was about to go to the snowy mountains, he would take care of her request. Sometime later, the city guard asks, is he talking about those demonized refugees? They dragged their bodies into the forest south of the city and burned them. Zhu Bohong came to the forest and said that the bodies were burned and the ashes were scattered. Can he put it together using the formation? He drew a magic circle, and because of this, the ashes of the person he needed began to crawl out from under the ground. Zhu Bohong notices the magical energy that was released at him. He managed to use his energy and block this attack. The High Union guy calls him a demon minion and says he should surrender. Zhu Bohong suffered because of this attack and thinks that these are people from the highest alliance. Why did they come back? Want to cause them problems again? The old man says that Shenyuman robbed the secret kingdom and they killed several of their disciples. He asks the highest union to provide just punishment for them. The guy says that the Shenyuman sect has been enchanted by the demonic beast, and now they have become the enemies of all the righteous. If they don't get rid of them today, heaven will be angry. Zhu Bohong turns around and thinks that this ash is extremely unstable, and if the spell is interrupted, it will simply disappear. Since he has already run around her, he cannot let her down. First, he must send messages to ask for support from the sect. The old man notices what he is doing and says that it is a transmission stone. He wants to call for help. They must stop him. The guy uses a spell and attacks him. This spell causes a very strong explosion, but Zhu Bohong used the formation and protected himself with a barrier. Currently, he thinks it's hard to say how long he'll last. Fortunately, Elder Meng Fekyu taught him how to use 2 spells at the same time. He notices a crack in his barrier and realizes that it is very bad. The guy casts a spell and says that the divine lightning of the 9 heavens should clear the demonic aura and cleanse the world. Lightning strikes the barrier and creates even more cracks. Zhu Bohong is injured and coughs up blood, after which the barrier he created begins to disappear. The old man says that they must quickly destroy the spell on the ground. The guy uses a lightning spell and attacks him. Zhu Bohong defends the spell and says that they should stop it. His spell hits and creates a very strong explosion of electrical energy. The guy who cast the spell laughs and says he's arrogant. He turns around and notices that the guy standing next to him has disappeared. Meng Fekyu is holding this guy that he used to protect himself from this spell. He throws this guy to the floor. The guy is surprised and thinks that just now Lu Kai was next to him. Why was he suddenly there? Zhu Bohong is shocked that a senior has appeared in front of him. The girls come running to them and call the elder. Guan Yu asks the elder if he is okay. He asks, since Senior Meng Fekyu has arrived here, What could happen to him? He notices that the sect leader has changed her sword, but it looks strange. The guy also noticed the sword and says that it looks very ominous. Tao Yuan asks what kind of slander is this? He is not an evil sword. People say that he can't believe what this sword is really saying. At first glance, this is definitely an evil sword. Meng Feiqiu sighs and thinks that it is very noisy here. Could this guy Tao Yuan give himself away? Maybe they should hang a sign around his neck saying he shouldn't talk. The guy asks who he is. Meng Feiqiu says that they have come to catch the demonic beast. He is the same demonic beast they were talking about. The guy thinks that to grab Lu Kai without them noticing, he is much stronger than them. This is problem. Meng Feiqiu says they should tell him honestly. What did he do to make them scream so loudly and try to kill everyone here? These words made everyone nervous and stared at him. The old man says that he robbed the secret kingdom and killed several of its disciples from the Wan Jianhen sect. He wants justice for them. Jian Yang says that they were the ones who found the secret realm first, and it was his disciples who tried to kill them. So justice is not on their side. The guy thinks that it was the head disciple of the Xingyu sect who stood up for this demonic beast. Could it be that she was confused too? The old man asks, without any evidence, how can she say that it was his students who wanted to kill them? In this case, it was his students who died at their hands. Jian Yang gets angry and is about to answer him something. Meng Feiqiu says it doesn't matter, it's not like they're here to talk sense. If by justice they mean his life, then they should come and take it. The guy thinks that this conversation will drive them to the grave. What should he say? He tells the demonic beast that he admits that he is strong. But for every mountain there is a higher mountain, and he cannot be the enemy of all righteousness. Meng Feiqiu asks who is good and who is evil. He just relies on his choices to make a decision, doesn't he? The guy says that of course he can't, but justice is in the eyes of others. Meng Feiqiu turns around and asks, do they understand now? Such people always think that they represent the whole world. They must not follow his example, otherwise they will be struck by heavenly punishment. Everyone who stood next to him agrees with this. He asks how things are going with collecting the ashes. Zhu Bohong is surprised and says that everything is ready. Meng Feiqiu turns around and says that in that case they are going back. Jian Yang thinks that she thought there would be a conflict between the senior and the Supreme Union, so she came to try them on. She didn't expect him to take no action. The guy says they have to stop. Where is he going? In fact, he did not dare to say it and is silently angry at what is happening. People are silent and think, how dare this little demonic beast talk to them? He dare not leave, he will fight him for 300 rounds. He will destroy it in the name of justice. They leave and people continue to silently watch it. People breathe a sigh of relief after they are gone. The guy asks, they didn't feel it, did they? The pressure of this demonic beast was so terrifying that he was practically unable to breathe. Other people ask, is this really so? How could they leave the matter like that if they were not so paralyzed with fear that they could not move? The guy says that, however, he didn't think so. The other guy covers his mouth and says he should just believe. Lu Kai reaches out to them and says that someone should call him a doctor. Sometime later. At the entrance to the cave, there is written on a stone, the secret kingdom of the immortal union, the Snowbone Mountains. Meng Feiqiu stands at the entrance to this cave and says that although he added a new secret realm and received a sword, he did not receive any other rewards and the spirit beast was not found. And because of the negative publicity of the Supreme Union, they were classified as a demonic sect. This had led to no sect other than its closest allies coming to train recently. To put it bluntly, they are still too little known and not too strong, so they can be easily suppressed by others. Suddenly, a huge shadow appears above him. He looks up and sees a huge fish flying in the sky. Meng Feiqiu notices this and says that it seems to be a demonic creature, a dead perch that was created by the head of the game's developers as a joke. He remembers what it belonged to. At the same moment, a human silhouette appears on the perch's body and says that the fourth master of Chuan Yuan Pavilion, Zhu Gongmeng, has come to pay a visit to the eldest of the Shenyuan sect and everyone else. Meng Feiqiu says he put on a big show. It seems to him that this does not look like a visit, but rather a show of force. Zhu Bohong says that Chuan Yuan Pavilion is a sect that became famous 30 years ago, with 4 pavilion masters who have outstanding abilities. However, they mocked the weak and killed innocents, so they were classified as a demonic sect. In terms of strength, it is even more powerful than the Xingyu sect. A man with white hair jumps towards them from a great distance and lands on his feet. This greatly surprises the guards who guard the entrance. Zhao Xingren comes to him and bows and asks if he can find out the reason for the visit of Taoist Zhu Gongmeng. He says that he heard that there is a certain outstanding hermit in the Shenyuan sect, and he would really like to meet him. He came this way to show his respect and hopes to listen to the teachings of his elders. Zhao Xingren says that Senior Meng Feikyu doesn't want to see him, so he should leave. Zhu Gongmeng says that they should not make a hasty decision because he has a gift for them. He opens a chest with 3 shiny tablets and says he might like it. The guard is surprised by this and thinks that this is a heavenly rank Kai aura. Zhu Gongmeng says that thanks to their sect, all sects are now looking for this item. His sect was lucky and got 3 of them. Zhao Xingren looks at this chest and remains silent. Zhu Gongmeng smiles and says that these tokens are just a small token of his gratitude. If the elder agrees, then he and Xuanyuan Pavilion would like to unite with their sect and work together in the future. Zhao Xingren says that this is impossible since the elder clearly said that the Shenyuan sect does not intend to follow the path of the demonic sect. Zhu Gongmeng laughed loudly and asked if he remembers correctly, then their sect is also classified as a demonic sect, right? These so-called righteous people will not let them go so easily. If he were them, he would try to find new friends in the neighborhood, not enemies. The guard thinks he is so arrogant that he decided to threaten them. Zhu Gongmeng wonders who this sect even thinks it is. They decided to go against the righteous and the demons at the same time. Besides, this is an invasion of demons. If this demonic beast is not stupid, it knows what it needs. Meng Feikyu and Zhao Xingren say something to each other, and he says that the elder told him that his dead snapper is good, but he will stay here, and he must get lost. Zhu Gongmeng claps his palms and says that this is not bad for someone who dared to go against the righteous using only his strength. However, this elder clearly underestimates the cultivators of this world. The dead perch is a species born in the midst of chaos and contains the power of decay in its body. He's afraid that even a heaven-rank protection spell won't last long. Zhu Boheng says that this demonic beast is trying to destroy the mountain formation. Zhu Gongmeng says they don't have to worry, he has a lot of spells in Xuanyuan Pavilion. If they are willing to work instead, then he will help them find something better. The dead perch, which is floating in the air, begins to take a very deep breath, but suddenly something frightened him. This fish sees Meng Feikyu on his head, who says that it will be better if he does not do this. The dead base is very angry about what happened. He raises his leg and closes the mouth of this fish with a very strong blow. He says that he already said that he shouldn't do this. His blow left a mark on the fish's head, and it was very painful for the dead perch. Zhu Gongmeng wonders what the dead perch is doing and why so slowly. Zhao Xingren yawns and asks, is he not going to leave yet? Zhu Gongmeng gets angry and says that it means they decided to offend everyone they could, both good and evil. Then she can say that the Shenyuan sect has no courage. He tells the dead perch that they are leaving here. He looks around and asks where is his base. Bu Fengyan and the Guang siblings say that it is amazing how small he can become when he was only so big recently. The perch looks out of the pond and trembles with fear. Zhao Xingren bows to the elder and says that this Zhu Gongmeng has left. Does he really not want to take back those tokens he brought? Meng Feikyu says he can leave. He said that the tokens have a heavenly treasure rank Kai aura, but he feels like there is something wrong with it. He thinks that the token in the game is a special prop and does not have any classes or ranks. So something is clearly wrong here. Zhu Gongmeng leaves and says that the people from the Shenyuan sect have no morals. They dared to deprive him of a dead perch. Fortunately, they forgot about the 3 tokens. They would see that in the future these tokens would be used by his Xuanyuan Pavilion, and then they would regret it. Zhu Xingren asks when was this pond created. Lin says that he is not sure, but perhaps it is the Elder's divine power. It may seem trivial, but he definitely must have a secret that no one knows about. In the system window, it is written that he received an achievement that does both good and evil. As a reward, he receives a mysterious piece of furniture. An ordinary pond at first glance, unidentified. Recognition skill is not unlocked. Meng Feikyu wonders, is the recognition skill not unlocked? Does that mean he should keep recruiting Destiny characters? Someone tells the Elder that Miss Jian Yang wants to meet him. She approaches him and Meng Feikyu asks if she hasn't returned. She says that under the orders of the sect leader, she took several disciples with her to come to the secret realm of Snowbone Mountain for training. Meng Feikyu thinks that the Shenyuan sect has been identified as a demonic sect. He is very surprised that the Xingyu sect still wants to deal with them. Some time ago, Jian Yang tells the master that she came to talk about the Shenyuan sect. The old man says she doesn't need to worry about it. he is going to go to the highest union to appeal the accusations against their sect. She is very surprised by what he just said. The master says that despite what outsiders said, the Sheniman sect was still kind to them. Thanks to the guidance of her elder, she achieved such great progress. As for the difference between good and evil, although he has not met this elder, he trusts her judgment. The disciples who went to the Sheniman sect for training last time returned with significant improvements. This time she can choose a few more disciples. This will also show their attitude towards the Sheniman sect. Jianyang agrees to this proposal. The master says that there is also something else that he wants her to convey to the elder. Currently, she says that the first thing is that since the news of Elder collecting Immortal Alliance Order tokens spread, several Immortal Alliance Order tokens of unknown origin suddenly appeared. All of these tokens have the aura of heaven-ranked treasures and have caused a fight for it among various sects. But then it turned out that the tokens were forged from discarded magical treasures, and after 10 days they turn into useless scrap. Meng Fakyu asks what kind of person would have enough money for such a thing. Jianyang says that this is not clear yet, they are still investigating. He thinks that unfortunately it is at times like these that the shortcomings of the little sect become apparent. Labor shortages limit even investigations. Jianyang says that the second point, the younger one, brought another person with her this time. The guy in the big hat asks who did the repairs here. This man is so ugly. He will forget about it. All this is for the sake of paying off the bills to the Xingyu sect. Just help them quickly build a courtyard. Jianyang says that Nangong Moyan is an ordinary practitioner and a famous master builder. Many buildings of different sects were built under this master. Zhu Bohong says that he has already heard about this guy. He is said to be eccentric, unpredictable, and commands a very high price. Jianyang says they don't have to worry. This time it's mainly to build a mansion for the elder. As for the price, the Xingyu sect covered it. A stream of energy appears next to Meng Fakyu, and he says that he values friendship with her sect. Jianyang says he is too polite. Master Nangong Moyan is looking around for a place so they can wait for a while. Sometime later, she and Bufingyan walk together and notice the master walking towards them. Nangong Moyan says that this hole is in a very bad place, and the main thing is that there is nothing good to eat here. It looks like the final price will have to be doubled. Jianyang thinks that this person loves food most of all, and when he comes to such a remote place, he seems to be clearly indignant. She hopes that he will not offend the elder. Sometime later, Jianyang tells the elder that this is Master Nangong Moyan. He looks around and thinks that the elder's residence is rich in spiritual power and is far from other places in the sect. Is it still possible to find such a place in Langyang Kiju? Meng Fakyu says they are just in time. They can have a snack and take a break. Nangong Moyan asks, did he just say something about food? He thinks that if it's just regular food, then he's not very interested in it. Guanling comes out and brings a small box. He opens the box and shows Nangong Moyan what he brought. What he sees surprises him very much, and he asks what is it. There is ice cream in the icebox. Bu Fengyan and the other girls took one each. She says it is very beautiful. Nangong Moyan inspects the ice cream and thinks that it is crystal clear and looks very tasty. He made up his mind and tastes it. He thinks it looks like regular ice, but thanks to the mixture of milky and fruity flavors and the pulp inside, it tastes pretty good. Meng Fakyu says it's called ice cream. He came across the sweet taste of the water in the pond, and it so happened that they had snowy mountains where they could get ice. He prepared several different flavors so they can enjoy themselves. Nangong Moyan thinks that, by the way, he is a gourmet by nature. Many sects had gone to great lengths to invite him, offering spiritual fruits, immortal water, and the like. In contrast, ice, despite its curious ingenuity, is nothing more than an ordinary food. For him it is, at best, simply tasty. Tao Yuan asks for another ice cream. Nangong Moyan wonders, what was it? Why does the sword eat ice cream too? Meng Fakyu says he should leave some for others. Tao Yuan agrees and says he will eat the last one. Nangong Moyan thinks that the Sheniman sect is a very strange place. Perhaps he will stay here for a few days and get another ice cream. Sometime later on the night of the same day, not far from the sect, a strange energy appears in the air. Someone asks loudly what's going on. Lin Gu asks if he feels it too. Jianyang says that she feels something strange is happening with her cultivation. Bu Fengyan says that she feels it too. They all say together that their cultivation has suddenly become smaller. Jianyang says they should look at the sky, it seems like it has changed somehow. Bu Fengyan asks, is this some kind of ominous omen? Guan Yu comes out of his room and asks why aren't they practicing. Fungian asks, does she feel that her cultivation level has decreased? She is surprised by this and says that it seems that she did not feel anything like that. Nangong Moyan is sleeping in his room, but suddenly he wakes up and feels severe chest pain. He remembers that the old man told him that he ate a lot of immortal and exotic treasures because of his appetite. Although he has reached a level of cultivation that everyone would envy, his foundation is unstable. He is afraid that it is a little dangerous if something goes wrong. Nangong Moyan asks Dr. Sun if this could put his life in danger. The doctor says that at present, it seems that the aura within him is mixed, but a subtle harmony is formed. From now on, it is important to be careful. Currently, Nangong Moyan thinks that it's all over. His entire aura is rushing around in his body, but he can't even make a sound. Will he really die in this wilderness? A new aura begins to appear in his body, which does not belong to any of the other auras. He felt a slight coolness and wondered if it was because of the ice cream he ate this afternoon. The two auras that were in his body begin to be attracted to the newly formed aura. It combines, and Nangong Moyan thinks that he feels like part of his aura has disappeared. Could this be? Sometime later in the morning, he walks through the estate and says that all the aura in his body has almost disappeared, but the Sea of Kai remains cool. Could it be that seemingly ordinary ice cream hides some secret? Because of the discomfort, he could not sleep all night. Finally, he can go and find out the truth from the elder. He is surprised when he saw something. Several people approach the building. Guanling opens the door and says that the elder has woken up and invites everyone to come in. People enter the house and see Meng Feiqiu sitting on a chair. Bu Fengyan tells the elder that last night a vision appeared in the sky, and many people's cultivation levels suddenly decreased. The younger generation and others don't know what happened, so they came to ask for advice. Nangong Moyan thinks, did she say a vision in the sky? Could it be that his chaotic aura caused all this? Meng Feiqiu says they don't have to worry, he already knows about it in general terms. Everyone is surprised by this and says that is expected from him. He points and asks if they can see that stone pillar. Some say it looks like he's added something new and amazing. Meng Feiqiu says that the four of them should approach this pillar on each side and place their palm on the swirling pattern. They do what he said and magical energy begins to appear from the pillar. The number 37 from magical energy appears above Bu Fengyan's head, and she asks what kind of symbol is this. Meng Feiqiu says that she is level 37, and that's not bad. She wonders what he is talking about. She doesn't understand anything. He thinks that last night, while he was sleeping, he received a notification from the system, which says that the next phase is already open and new details are now unlocked. Meng Feiqiu says that, to put it simply, the laws between heaven and earth have changed. The old way of determining cultivation levels is no longer suitable. This spiritual pillar will reevaluate their cultivation level according to the new law. Starting from level 1, every 10th level is a step, while mortals are at level 0. Jianyang asks if she can ask the elder what the highest cultivation level is. Meng Feiqiu says there is no upper limit at the moment. Nangong Moyan is surprised and wonders if the elder can really control the changes of the heavenly Tao and has such a strange treasure. It looks like Jianyan was right. The elder's origins are beyond their imagination. So yesterday's seemingly ordinary ice cream could very well turn out to be an extremely valuable treasure. It is only thanks to the protection of his elder that he has the opportunity to stand here. He takes a knee and says that he is grateful to him for saving his life. He would like to join Shinyaman, so he asks him and the sect leader to accept him. Jianyang wonders how come even Master Nangong Moyan wanted to join them. As expected of an elder, he always manages to gain trust without even knowing it. Meng Feiqiu laughs and says that is a good idea. He wonders when he saved him, why doesn't he understand anything? Someone telepathically tells Jianyan that she must return to the sect immediately. She wonders, is this the master? It seems that something important is happening in the sect. She tells the elder that the sect master used the sound transmission stone to call her back, so she needs to leave. After some time in the Xingyu sect, the master says that he has just received a message from the Supreme Union. The decline in everyone's cultivation level was due to a change in the rules of the Heavenly Tao. The old man asks why they are so sure of this. The master says that on the night of the vision of heaven and earth, a miracle suddenly descended on the 3 leading sects. At this time, a revelation appeared for a short time, and everything was said there. The old man says that they are truly worthy of being a first-class sect, even the Heavenly Tao favors them. Do they know what kind of miracle it was? The master says that after the heavens and earth changed, the cultivation realm also changed. This is a miracle stone pillar that can test the level of the cultivator. However, the above text is bizarre and can only be understood by those who have seen the revelation. Jian Yang is surprised by this. The old man says that it looks like this heavenly Tao is trying to force the three great sects to make new rules. The master says that after a while, the three great sects may allow students from other sects to take the test, but there will be few places and the conditions will not be easy. The old man says that after all, being admitted into a first-class sect is in itself a sign of strength. Combined with a miracle, this will make people strive for them. Yifeng bows and tells the mentors that they don't have to worry. He will train hard and will not allow precious places to fall into the wrong hands. The rest of the students also bow and say that they will train hard and not let the precious seats fall into the wrong hands. The old man thinks that Jian Yang is often absent from the sect, and Yu Gufeng has slowly become the leader of the disciples. It doesn't look like it will be long before he takes his place. The master asks her what are her thoughts. Jian Yang says that she dares to ask the master, "Is this stone pillar square on all sides, and does it have a spiral pattern? And if you lean your hand, a similar text will appear." The master says she is right. How does she know? The image he had seen when he was in the High Union was indeed similar to this. Jian Yang says that the Shenimen sect also has a similar stone pillar. This greatly surprises everyone present. She says that Elder Meng Feiqiu calls this new realm of separation the spirit level. Thanks to him, she experienced it. The master asks if he has any comments about the test results. Jian Yang says he received excellent results. The elder said this was considered a rarity among her peers. The master laughs and says that as expected from their main disciple of the sect. All the students begin to envy her. The master asks if she could help him get acquainted. If the elder allows him, then he would like to visit the Shenimen sect. Sometime later, someone tells SR, Huan, that he can sit down. Head Bu Fengyan can also sit. Ling Gu thinks this is like a dream. He is actually receiving the head of the Xingyu sect in person. Zhu Bohong thinks that they should brace themselves and not disgrace their senior. The master says that this time he came in a hurry and did not prepare any gifts. But there is something that might please the head of their sect. Magical energy appears on the floor and begins to transform. He says they are rare spirit animals called water cloud deer. Once tamed, they can become a mount. Jian Yang thinks that it took half a year of hard work to catch these two animals, and they have always been dear to the master. She did not expect such a generous gesture as giving them directly to Senior Meng Feiqiu. The deer look around and ask, what is this place, and why is there such a subtle aura here? This old man doesn't want to say that now they will live here. The master agrees and says that he's actually here. The deer turns away and says that he doesn't even have to think about the fact that he can do whatever he wants just because he caught them. They would rather die than live in such a place. The master thinks they shouldn't be so rude. The deer leaves and says that if he wants to leave them here, then they can just leave their corpses. Tao Yuan says that they may not even dare to cross the threshold of this door. Where do they have so much courage to speak out like that in the Shenimen sect? The deer looks around and asks, what is this furious aura? Who is saying this? Tao Yuan says they should go back immediately. The master is surprised that the sword spoke and points to this with a surprised look. Jian Yang says that this heavy sword is a transformed Tao Yuan. Bu Fengyan says he shouldn't be so rude. He apologizes and says that he couldn't resist, and it's his fault. The deer are very surprised by this and ask why he is here. The master says that it is his fault that he did not immediately explain what was happening here. Why don't they think about it again, after some time on the street? Bu Fengyan says that Senior Meng Feiqiu is still resting, so they can start by surveying the area. They come to a stone pillar and see a large crowd of people around this pillar. Jian Yang says that their students who came for training all passed the test. Bu Fengyan thinks that unfortunately, due to limited capabilities, they can only place a spirit dimension pillar here for now. She is afraid that it will most likely amuse him. The master thinks that the stone pillar that the three first-class sects consider to be their greatest treasures is now standing here just like that. He is afraid that under heaven, only Senior Meng Feiqiu has such strength. The student asks, has the first place been updated again? Another student agrees and says they should go watch. He is surprised when he sees the head of the sect. The master asks what they talked about. There is a list of masters written on the stone tablet, the Cave of the Hidden Sword. Ren Zhongling from the Xingyu sect, time taken 1 hour and 14 minutes, level 31. Shichuan Hai from the Xingyu sect, time taken 1 hour 18 minutes, level 34. Chang Hegui from the Xingyu sect, time taken 1 hour 34 minutes, level 30. The master asks, what is this? Bu Fengyan says that this is called a leaderboard. It was made by Elder Nangong Moyan at the request of Elder Mang Fekyu. This allows everyone to see their abilities and progress more clearly. The master is surprised and thinks she said about Elder Nangong Moyan, who never liked to associate himself with others, wanted to become an elder. Many people stand outside the small building and say that they should give him a ticket. He wants to try again. They shouldn't crowd. The master looks at the leaderboard and says that no matter how good a person is, there will always be someone better. The true essence of practice is only constant overcoming oneself. Senior Meng Fekyu is trying to make practitioners understand this. He laughed and said that he really deserves to be called elder. Meng Fekyu laughs and says that as soon as competition appeared, the frequency of repeated visits to the secret room increased significantly. He screams in anger and says that it pisses him off. This gacha system doesn't seem to give him anything good on purpose. He earned so many coins and ended up with a ton of herbs and materials. It is obvious that he himself is a system, so why is he so unlucky? By the way, a master from the Xingyu sect will visit him today. I wonder how he is doing. Guanling says that Master Huang was just standing at the door and suddenly remembered that he had important things to do, so he apologized and left. Meng Fakyu says he is sorry. Sometime later, the master flies through the air on a luxurious chair and remembers that Jian Yan told him that this is the elder's mansion. They should wait here for a while and let Master Guan. They hear Meng Fakyu screaming in anger and saying that it pisses him off. The master is surprised that he screams so loudly. Jian Yang says that she has rarely seen him so angry. Maybe something happened. Anything that might anger the elder must be of no small importance. The master says that he thinks it is better for him to return and visit him another day. It will be better this way. Jian Yang says she is sorry about this. The master says that there is nothing to worry about. Currently, someone loudly says that he must stop. Several people gathered around one person. The guy loudly calls for help. Several masked people stand next to a guy who is shaking with fear. The master notices this and wonders what's wrong with these people's clothes. These are people from the Xuanyuan sect. The guy in the mask asks the guy who he even is. How dare he support the Immortal Alliance Order and deceive all the practitioners in the world? The master wonders, was the fake token that made such a fuss a while ago actually made by this child? The guy says that he wanted to join the Xuanyuan sect, but he didn't have a chance. So he made several fake dog tags in hopes of attracting the attention of that senior man. The masked guy says he is brave enough. Does he know that the Xuanyuan sect has offended both the good and the evil? Now they are in a difficult position to even defend themselves? The guy is thinking, is this really true? He just wanted to use Xuanyuan as a cover, but he didn't know it would turn out like this. The masked guy says that their 4 court masters have set a reward for his return alive. The guy says they should give him a minute to come up with another excuse. Or rather, he didn't put it that way. The guy in the mask smiles looking at him. The master releases several magical waves that hit the masked guys and they fall to the ground and die. The guy is surprised at what happened. The master came down to him and asked his younger brother if he was okay. The guy thinks, is he then his older brother? The master says that he just heard that he wants to join Xuanyuan. This is true. The guy is confused and says that he doesn't know whether he wants to join them or not. The master says that he need not be afraid. He is from the Xingyu sect, and they are very close to the Xuanyuan sect. The guy says that then of course he wants to join them. The master extends his hand to him, and this greatly surprises the guy. He says that the Xuanyuan sect is not so close to this place. Why not help him get there, sometime later at the entrance to the sect? He left the guy and says that he will leave him here. Good luck to him. He flies away and thinks that this young man is able to forge the token of the Order of the Immortal Union, so obviously he is quite experienced. If he was lucky, he could become a disciple of the Xuanyuan sect. The guy thinks about it, he just accidentally made a joke. Why was he really sent to the Xuanyuan sect? Is it too late to run away now? Someone picks up a guy with red hair and says that this is amazing. He created a heavenly class magic weapon the first time. He is another genius in the Valley of Flames. They must listen to him. They must make sure that outsiders cannot get their hands on him. No one is allowed to reveal the existence of Baby Dong. But as soon as he uses the weapon, it becomes normal. The man strokes his head and says that it doesn't matter, his talent isn't that bad. With further training in the future, he will definitely become a real weapons master. Sometime later, someone killed this man, leaving him lying on the floor. The man says that there are many heaven-class magical weapons hidden in the Valley of Flames. They must find them, and then they will get rich. They need to search carefully. The man drags his sword across the floor, leaving sparks behind. Dune hid under the floor and trembled with fear. Currently, the guard calls this young friend. He is surprised by this and returns from his memories. The guard says that the chief and elders are already waiting in the waiting room. He should follow him. Dong thinks he just wanted to sell some fakes. Some time ago, he crawled out from under the hall and asked who and why did they kill everyone. Currently, Dune thinks he can't even be a master. Besides, he doesn't want to be one. He remembers what happened some time ago. The man stabbed him on the arm with a sword and asks how dare he sell fake magic weapons and deceive him. He will cut off one of his hands so that he will remember this lesson. Dune panics greatly and wonders what he should do. He goes inside the building and sees all the people in front of him. He is nervous and swallows out of fear. Jian Young asks, is he the same Taoist who was sent by the sect leader himself? Dune is surprised by what she said. He realizes what she said and asks, did she say sect leader? Was this the head of the Xingyu sect? Bu Fengyan says that's right. She heard that he wants to join the Shenyaman sect. It is very interesting. Dune continues to worry and grabs his clothes out of fear. He pulls himself together and apologizes for lying. He's just a scammer who got carried away for a moment and decided to make some treasures to make money. In fact, he was chased all the way here because he offended the Xuanyuan sect. It seemed to him that the Xuanyuan sect was afraid of the Shenyaman sect and decided that it would be safer here. He never thought that sect leader Huang would come to his aid and personally send him here. He is very worried about what is happening and clutches his clothes trying to say something. Meng Feiqiu flew up to him and asked, so he still wants to join the Shenyaman sect? People stood up from their seats and bowed to the elder. Dune wonders, is this the same recently famous elder? Meng Feiqiu says that anyway, since he is here, he will ask this question again. He sits on a chair and asks if he wants to join Shenyaman. Dune is very worried and says that he would like to, but he is too big a loser to be a gunsmith. Meng Feiqiu asks, what if he says he can? Dong is surprised and asks, can he become a master? In the system window, it is written that he is the character of fate, Shilin Dong. Vitality 6 points, Body Foundation 7, Knowledge of Nature 9 points, Luck 2 points. Passive Skill Master Crafting, Heavenly Rank A. When using mid or high grade spiritual materials, the cultivation speed and success rate are temporarily increased according to the level of the spiritual material and recalculated after each success. Techniques, Red Flame Mysterious Rank Blacksmithing, a blacksmithing skill passed down from generation to generation in the Valley of Flame, with a bonus for metal materials and fire attributes. Connection is inactive. Meng Feiqiu recalls that this boy was originally an NPC in the game, specialized in adding attributes to players' high-level weapons. But since the chances of success are low, only players with bags of money did it. Shilin Dong said that he would take the money even if the magical treasure was destroyed. Meng Feiqiu thinks that at that time, some players suspected that the development team had deliberately reduced the success rate. Now when he looks at it, it turns out his luck is 2 points. But he also has a skill that adds cool effects to the player's equipment. Shilin Dong says that they should think carefully, because he doesn't care how long the effect lasts. Meng Feiqiu thinks that his creations mostly look good, but have no practical use. Currently, he asks, so what will he say? Shilin Dong is trying very hard to figure out how to answer this question. He says he probably needs to think about it a little more. He apologizes for this. Everyone stares at him and a depressing atmosphere appears in the room. Shilin Dong thinks that the Shenyaman sect has offended both the righteous and the demons, and he is afraid. This is very dangerous, isn't it? Meng Feiqiu says that everything is fine, he just decided to ask him. Since he doesn't want to join now, could he do something for him? Shilin Dong is surprised that he asked him to do something. After some time in the Xingyu sect, the master says that, unfortunately, this trip did not go very well. He always felt a little sorry that he could not personally pay his respects to Senior Meng Feiqiu. Someone comes into the room and calls him Bald Huan. The master asks this old man what brought him here. It was Huey Wukang, the head of the Xingyan sect. The master thinks that they belong to the same third-rate sect and have very similar names. Over the years, there has been an obvious but hidden rivalry between them that hasn't gone too far beyond the pale. Huey Wukang asks if he heard the recent news. The master thinks that this guy came here of his own free will. This is most likely not good. Huey Wukang says that the 3 top-notch sects are preparing to hold a big competition, inviting young disciples from all sects to participate. If they were lucky enough to pass the preliminary selection, he would be able to test his cultivation with a gift from above. And if he gets to the very top, he will even receive heavenly treasure. The master is surprised and asks, is this true? Huey Wukang says that as far as he knows, he has good friendly relations with the three great sects. A few days ago, their sect's head disciple was specifically asked to take a test. The result is 42 points. Does he know what that means? The master asks, what does he mean? Huey Wukang says that even in the three great clans, there are very few students who can break the 40-point mark. The highest level of cultivation currently is 46, belonging to one of the three great clans, Yuyushin. The master thinks that Jian Yang's cultivation level is 48 points. Isn't that what it means? His thoughts are interrupted by Huey Wukang, who says that he should not be surprised. His school still knows a lot about teaching its students. If he has the desire, then why doesn't he send his disciples too? He completely forgot. The three clans have a rather negative attitude towards him for advocating for the Shenyamin sect, so they will most likely not allow him to pass the test ahead of time. After some time, at the Xingyu sect square, someone says that Jian Yang and the rest of the disciples have returned. She tells the rest of the students that they can go and rest, and she needs to pay a visit to the master. Huey Wukang asks why he feels like he is always absent-minded. The master is surprised and asks, is this true? He says that he has known him for many years. He believes his heart must now be full of jealousy. But when they try to ignore him, he doesn't know where to start. The master grinned with a strange expression on his face. Jian Yang comes to them and calls the master and notices the elder Huey Wukang. He tells this little girl that she doesn't even greet him respectfully when she meets him. And what is it that she holds in her hands like a treasure? Jian Yu tells the master that Senior Meng Fake Yu said that last time he left in a hurry and did not have time to meet and talk. So a special gift was given to his student for her to bring it to him. The master was happy about this and asked, is this a gift from Senior Meng Fake Yu? Huey Wukang asks why he suddenly got so excited. She opens the chest and the master, noticing the contents, says that this is the highest black card. Huey Wukang notices that this is the aura of a heavenly treasure. Jian Yang says that Senior Meng Fake Yu said that in the future, the Xingyu sect will become the #1 VIP of the Shenyamin sect. With this card, all expenses will be free. The master says that he is too kind. But isn't this a very valuable heaven-ranked treasure? Meng Fake Yu said that this card was carefully crafted by a mysterious blacksmith and is primarily used to demonstrate their outstanding status. Jian Yang says that therefore, according to Senior Meng Fake Yu's plan, no special abilities were added. Huey Wukang is surprised and says that to create this treasure, very high-quality materials are definitely needed. And after all this effort, it's just decoration. The master says that he must look at himself. Maybe he has never seen the world. Does he really think that he is as petty as he is? He thinks that even though he said so, it is a very generous gesture on his part. If his Xingyu sect did this, he would be heartbroken. Huey Wukang says that there is something written in the lower right corner of this card. He saw it. The same inscription on the gift from above. The master asks exactly, he doesn't know this, does he? In addition to the three great sects, Shenyamin also has a gift from above. Huey Wukang is surprised by this and asks how is this possible. The master says that if he wants, he can believe or he cannot believe. Anyway, the first group of their students have already tested it. The second group will be sent soon. Huey Wukang asks the girl if she also passed the test. Jian Yang agrees with this. He asks what level is she. She says that she is level 48. This news hurt him very much. The master asks this old man why he has the feeling that he is somehow absent-minded. Huey Wukang says that this is nonsense, he is fine. The master says that he has known him for many years. He believes that his heart must now be full of jealousy. But when they try to ignore him, he doesn't know where to start. Huey Wukang thinks that he said it so calmly, and it really depresses him. He asks if he can just tell him. They are friends after all. The master says that he would strangle him with pleasure right here. Huey Wukang says that is why they have been friends all their lives. The master asks how he came to such a conclusion. He says that in fact, he has long wanted to visit Senior Meng Fake Yu, but he simply never had the right opportunity to do so. Better late than never, right? Maybe he can put in a good word for him? The master says that little depends on him. The elder and Jian Yan know each other much better than him. Huey Wukang immediately turns to him. She was confused by the expression on his face. He says she shouldn't be so rude, she can call him uncle. The master wonders, has this old man been busy training his tongue lately? He has no shame or conscience at all. He will forget about it. Although Senior Meng Fuck You gave them free privileges, the Shenyamin sect must make money anyway. This old man should let him see him suffer once again, and perhaps